Hey everybody, it's Chunchai. Light check, excellent. Alright. So, hope everyone's having a good Sunday morning or afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. We're gonna join Akai's Open League. I had a good question on. I had a good direct question from a new player. They're asking about, because they hear about Nitaku and they're trying to understand it, and they're like, they're asking me where do they apply it, because they realize, they know that everyone's saying, when you have plus or 6 to plus 9, you should apply Nitaku, right? Because you don't have guaranteed damage, but you have a powerful mix-up. Your opponent can't fuzzy guard, so where do you do it? And so what I would say is, now they were looking for attacks, and they're like, I don't see it on normal hit, and that's because it's not that often on normal hit. As a beginner, you first apply Nitaku when you guard. You first apply it when you block something big like an uppercut, or you block like a side kick, or a kick in general, or you block a shoulder. As long as there's no string follow-up, then Nitaku is pretty secure there usually. If there is a string follow-up, then blocking the string follow-up will usually give you Nitaku or better. So understand that, if there's a string follow-up, your opponent's doing like side kick into another kick, okay, maybe you can't really, it's hard to apply Nitaku if they do that. So instead, try to block the follow-up also. This game really rewards defense actually quite well, but it takes a while to get good at it in this game, and as a beginner you want to focus on blocking big things, apply pressure there. You can do the mid-throw mix-up anytime you have advantage. Honestly, it's really good, even at plus 2 or plus 3. It's just that your opponent technically is able to do a fuzzy guard. Now, at the beginner level, they're not going to do a fuzzy guard, so mix-up is really powerful there. Intermediate level, sometimes they'll do fuzzy guard, so mix-up's really powerful in there. When you get to the higher level, and your opponent is able to consistently fuzzy guard in offense and on defense, just whenever they get the fuzzy guard opportunity, then that's when you're gonna start you'll have to be a bit more careful, because trying to mix up in that situation it's very risky. You might just outright lose it. They may make you pay for it more, and so you want to have the Nitaku situation is a more secure place to do a more serious mix-up of mid and throw, especially with good advantage to make sure that you're making them pay. So at the beginner level, block something big. Block like an elbow, block not an elbow, but block like an uppercut, block like a side kick, and you should have Nitaku. Block shoulder ram, you should have Nitaku. Block a lot of kick attacks, yes. If there's a string follow-up, just be careful, but also block the string follow-up and punish that. That's the beginner path to Nitaku, to targeted Nitaku. The intermediate path to targeted Nitaku is when you counter hit with your basic pokes. When you counter hit with high jab, you can mix up. When you see that they hit an attack late, and you know you're about to counter hit them, then you can right away do like throw or mid. Same with 2P, same with low punch, right? And same with your elbow class move. When you get a crouch hit, it's easier to see when you start developing the skills of seeing how you're going to hit. So that is how you do, that's how you do Nitaku. Again, as a beginner, when you guard something big. As an advanced player, when you counter hit with your core fundamental moves. So, and then you'll learn more and more situations as you go. Is it okay to mix up when you don't have Nitaku? Yeah, it's good to mix up when you have advantage, even small advantage. It's generally good to do, but the higher level you go, the more you're going to have to stick to it in the Nitaku situation. But at beginner level, outright do it anytime you have advantage. Actually, just mix up mid throw right there. But do it in a more safe manner, in a less risky way. So let's join Akai. Did we miss the league? I hope not. That's the key. Wrong channel. Where's my Akai channel? Alright. Good morning, Akai. Alright. We're not hearing anyone yet. Discord's doing its thing.
Oh, morning, Chen. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Chat can't hear you yet, so let me fix that.
Okay.
Alright. Properties.
Sorry for joining late.
Hey, no problem.
I had a really good question from a player from Snake's Eye, actually. Alright, good. I can hear myself on the stream. Okay, on your stream. So the question Snake's Eye asked me is, they were saying, like, where do I apply Nitaku, right? They noticed that on normal hit they don't get that situation. And I just quickly, my answer is, I didn't have time to type it to them yet. No, I did. My answer is that you can mix up mid-throw whenever you have advantage at the beginner and the intermediate level. At the advanced level, it becomes more important to do it when you have Nitaku, though. And so, but as a beginner, instead of focusing on hits, the easier opportunities for Nitaku is when you block like side kicks or shoulders or uppercuts or kicks in general. But if they have a string follow-up, then you can't really do it there. So if they show they've got a string follow-up and they do those string follow-ups, then instead it's better to block the string follow-up and either apply Nitaku or guaranteed damage there. But as a general rule, it's easier to do it from guarding these bigger targets that are bigger than the jab, elbow, and low punch, you know. And then when you get to intermediate level, that is when you have more experience, you start to see things a bit more. Then that's where you might start to be able to apply the Nitaku when you get a counter hit on like a jab or an elbow or throw, or a crouch hit on the elbow. It's good to be aware that these basic boxing pokes are where you can get it on a counter hit or a crouch hit, but it is kind of hard to apply as a beginner. As an intermediate, you've had enough play time, and it's a little easier to start seeing it, but it's still kind of tough. But these are the places where as a developing player, applying Nitaku is very strong and something you can keep working towards. But again, for beginners, block something big. If there's a string follow-up, block the string follow-up and then do it. But as an intermediate player, as you get more comfortable with the flow of the game, then you can start focusing on doing Nitaku when you block or when you counter hit with your core pokes, and with other counter hits as you learn them. So that's my advice on Nitaku. Alright, so Punker had to leave. So we got one more match left. I should take this moment to warm up. I'm not very warmed up. I took a couple days break of VF. Got too addicted to Unicorn Overload. And breaks are good, so now let's warm back up. Alright, Zaytigi, let's do this. That said, hope you've had a good weekend, Akai.
I'm good, thank you.
Guess we're going to talk more about some fun stuff. But yeah. Very good. Oh, that was really cool. I love that 3-3P. I love that.
Alright, we just have one. This is the last match before we start the first league of the day.
That was a good choice.
If you want to join, passcode is 0428.
Say, Tiggy, that was a really good choice. The offensive move caused a good timing change.
Yeah, so in the Z-Axis local tournament in Arizona, Ring Dragon Ninja Ryu won, Kage player. Also
awesome.
was a live player. Punker got second, but it came down to a grand final reset and came down to the very last round. So it was fun to watch. So I would say it's nervous for the players participating in it, but fun for the spectators. Third place went to a Shun player, I think the X button. And then Texas Showdown, which happened. First place went to Gentleman Thief. Second to Limey. And then third place went to Sasapons or Taco Guy. So it's good to see those who participants in the league doing well offline. Thanks for stopping by, Drecto. So we're going to be a 5-player league. Most likely you can see.
This is a very, very fun warm-up game. This is great. Zaytiki's doing some good stuff and starting to get used to how I'm playing this fight. Alright, very fun battle, Zaytiki. That was great. Keep it up. Akira's getting sharper with this matchup. Alright, looks like we're going to start League now.
Alright guys, good luck, have fun. Oops, one thing.
Kyle, awesome to see you. Good luck, everyone. Alright, so we are straight up into the matches. Hope everyone's doing really well. I'm glad that Punker came in and practiced. It's too bad they had to go, but hopefully they can join a bit later. Twisted Hand, really good to see you. Alright, let's do this. Using very effective use of the core pokes. So right now I'm winning a lot on just like knowing these situations a little better than him. Very good. Very good, very good. That backdash though, I did see it, so I'm going to start trying to punish that more. Right now I'm having a good sense of when he wants to do offense and when he wants to do defense, so I'm trying to use that against him. Alright, very good game, Twisted Hand. So I'm very directly attacking when he's comfortable attacking, when he's comfortable defending. This is an important part because his flow is very, very good. It's really, really good. Twisted Hand is playing very solid, actually, very good. But I am able to see that maybe the too clear logic with the way he's playing, so I'm attacking it. And because I can do low attacks from long range, I can be even more disruptive. But it's not just that. It's not just the lows. It's that I kind of know that if I stop him at certain points, he's more likely to defend, and that's fine. It just means that in those cases, the generally safer route is just to guess better on the throw escape and do guard throw escape. Right? That's a really powerful way to deal with that. So that he's reducing my throws. Now that's easier said than done. The other way to deal with it is to like go, okay, Chanchai like is throwing me at these certain moments. I'm going to do a launcher. That's kind of hard to do. It's very hard to do, but it is a powerful way to do it because you get a free like 6K in that situation. It's what we call reverse Nitaku. We're like, oh, the opponent mix-ups, but they like to throw at these moments. I'm going to do a launcher, or they like to, but you know, if they like to poke back with high punch or elbow, Jean does have his punch parts. They're very powerful. They're very annoying actually if you get good, but that's more of an advanced tool, an intermediate tool. Intermediate start to do it, but advanced players are the ones that can like do it with good accuracy. It's hard to do. I do like that he did mix in backdash. Actually, it's very important for John to do that. It's just so the risk is pretty good on them, but he never did it like when I started punishing them. So he's instinctually responding very well. All right, Akai, let's do this. All right, that's the risk for doing like delay stuff against Pi. Pi is very good at punishing Abare. Very good. Just he's gonna low punch mash, so I can crush that actually, or I can like block in 2D. This is the classic block, low punch, and do an elbow. Now, if I was slightly slower, I would have blocked that. It does require... this is where he's targeting... this is where he's targeting Abare. Okay. Alright. Very good battle, Kai. Very good battle. Good game. Good games indeed. Dizo, by the way, I forgot to respond to you earlier because I was with Akai. It is awesome to see you, Dizo. I was also in the middle of my lecture. Hope you're doing really well. I'm excited to see you next week, man. I'm really excited to be hanging out in Seattle, or in Everett, Washington, technically. I'm going to be in the Seattle area next week for Fight Kingdom, so I'm very excited for that. Alright, Dracto, here we go. It's going to be so awesome. Man, and I saw shoutouts to you for the $100 donation to Capcom vs SNK2. That is awesome. Alright. Okay, this person likes to do low punch, low kick. No problem. This is going to be kind of fun. This is how you punish when someone does predictable low kicks. This 8K Leon's 8K is just so good. Leon's 8K is too good. They're used to doing it in a situation where they shouldn't, right? And so now this 8K is really powerful, right? This is what Leon can do. And then evade is also really good. And I think they don't realize I'm just crushing the low kick right now. And now I'm just using 8K where it's solid because I know they're gonna try to attack their way in this situation. So this is where Eileen can use hop kick or 9K against Pi very powerfully if she uses low kick too much. Alright, did not have the range. Now they know to defend. Alright, good game, Jackto. So that's good. In that final round, they stopped using the 1K because it became a liability, and they realized this 1K is being targeted. It's too risky to do it. So that was a very good adjustment on their part. I like your pie. I like it. Very nice to meet you, Jackto, and hope we spar more. I hope we spar more. But I cut off the 1K from being an option. So now technically the issue with 1K is that if it doesn't get counter hit, it doesn't the kick follow up's not guaranteed, and so doing the follow up kick is a real liability. It's a high attack, so the opponent can always crouch under it as long as they didn't get counter hit by the first kick, and so that's actually the real danger of doing 1KK without checking. It works against beginners because you're gonna counter hit with 1K like a lot against beginners, but if your opponent they can do what I did, which is cut it off with using Leon's 8K, or using something like 9P for Eileen, or and I was confident I can do that. If you are mixing in that 1K with a lot more basic pokes, which you start to do in the second round, then I need to play a little more solid defense, or more straightforward options, mids to keep it in check. And then when you hit me with it, I can, as long as it's not counter hit, I can still deal with the follow up and punish you for doing the follow up. So punishing the follow up is actually normally the big plan against that move. But I felt comfortable crushing it. All right, this is great. Zaytigi played awesome. Very good. Very good. Very good. I chose wrong. He went with back throw. I chose neutral. A lot of people will do neutral here, and that's okay. That's the read. This is a side turn situation. I have more advantage than he realizes. That was a good choice. That was the perfect choice. Oh, that's too bad. Alright, very good game, Zaytiki. Very good game. That combo, I think there was a combo that would have won. But it was a really good choice. He used a dashing elbow, got advantage, and used throw. Really great choice. Alright, Magus Reigns, let's do this. It's really good to see you again, and you're doing awesome. Doing really awesome. 3-1 already. Alright. Hey Blurring, so good to see you. Hope you're doing really well. Hope you're doing really, really well. It's too bad you couldn't go to Texas Showdown, probably not in your city, but it sounds like you're doing great though. Alright, good Magus Reigns. Alright, so we're playing right now. We have to be very careful. They're not playing the standard they're not poking back right away. So we have to make sure we don't assume they're gonna do that. But we are gonna try to win carefully on the neutral here, and we are gonna use advantage when they give it to us. But with Vanessa, she does have a lot of strings, so it can be a little tricky to do that. Very good. Alright, good. They do go for a side option. They don't go straight to neutral. A lot of people do. A lot of people go straight neutral here. Yeah, I thought that was really awesome, and actually they all had really good performance. I'm really happy about that. Yes, Sir Hicks-a-Lot, uh, Joshua Pac-Man, and Taco Guy got third place. That's awesome. Congratulations, Taco Guy. All right, good game, good game. So right now, trying to use proper use of evades, confirm what I'm doing, understand when we're in neutral and when we're not, because sometimes because they're taking their time choosing their offense, we might be in neutral more than I realized. So I think I was very careful and stayed sharp on that. All right, congratulations, Akai, on getting second. That was really fun. All right, here we go. All right, Akai, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All right, congratulations on second. These were good battles. Um, this first league, I think my play, I was illustrating just fundamentals, a lot of fundamentals in this first league battle. So I was pretty happy with that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, this match is going to the final round between Zaytic and Tristahan.
That's gonna be a very, very exciting battle. Twisted Hand has been exercising the fundamentals very well. You know, on my stream I just said that basically I was seeing the logic of their decision, and so I was kind of attacking that logic. But they were playing a very clean moral way of playing, and they did use different approaches for John. It's good.
All right. Congratulations, Chan Cham's first, second me, and Magus Wayne's third. Thank you guys for playing. If you guys can continue playing, please do so. Room is open again, so those who's watching the stream from North America with wire connection, passcode is 0428. I'm going to post around to the different sites and run an ad break here. And once the ad's over, we'll start the countdown to start the second league. All right. All right, welcome Blair in Space Time. Awesome. I got two more people.
Really awesome. Welcome Blurring, welcome Space Time. Two players that have got very, very strong fundamentals as well. This is a good room. It's a very nice spring session. It's feeling very spring right now. This is it's very April, very leading up into Mother's Day in 2 weeks. But next week we have Fight Kingdom, so I'm really excited for that. Alright, I think Akai's trying to set the ad break. Yep, the ad break has begun. So, you're only hearing this on my stream, but ad breaks are awesome. They support the stream. Akai has been investing more time into, he'll talk about it later I think, but Akai's been investing more time into content, and it's fantastic content. So and Blurring had mentioned on my stream that we're very happy about that he's very happy about the performance at Texas Showdown of Sir Hicks-a-Lot, Joshua Pac-Man, and Taco Guy. And as Akai mentioned earlier, Taco Guy was able to get third place. It was excellent. And that's really, like, he's fighting really powerful opponents. The top two are very, very strong seasoned players. Obviously, Gentleman Thief is arguably the best player in North America. And Limey Porcupine is really, really strong, and he does love to teach VF. His Lei Fei is really, really, really strong. So I'm glad that he has stoked his VF fire again. Usually he's fired up for VF in the spring and in the summer. He'll come out to events. So I'm hoping he will go to Combo Breaker as he has done the last couple times.
Do you will say has the registration stopped for Fight Kingdom?
It
Oh, you guys
did.
mentioned you can't enter Fight Kingdom.
Yeah, so now Fight Kingdom, you can get a spectator badge. But honestly, I'll maybe we'll sneak people into it because it's a side tournament. Maybe I'll just sneak someone into the bracket. I don't know. If somebody asks, I think it's not the hardest to do. I think there's a way to do it. It's been done before at other events, so I think if people do want to add into that tournament, they can. If they want to come just on a spectator badge and play all weekend with us in Virtua Fighter, we would love that. So there's gonna be quite a bit. I think we got around 20 people, um, and there's room for more. So if more people wanted to join us, they're welcome to. Uh, and J Thor's gonna be there. He couldn't come this weekend because he's with his mother in Vegas, I believe. But J Thor is gonna be at Fight Kingdom, and we're excited about having some like workshop sessions and Lao focus sessions. But yeah, been chatting with the community, and I think we're all excited for Fight Kingdom. All right, on my viewing of Akai stream, we're on ad 7 of 7. So
Advertisement picture have ended, so thank you guys for your guys' patience.
hello.
Now we'll start to count down after this match between Zaytiki and Megas Reigns, and it's nice to see that we've got 9 people.
So when we start the countdown, that means 5 more games.
Yeah, 5 more matches before we
Okay.
start. Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll be allowing more people to join the room for about 5 games after this one, and we encourage you to do so. Whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced, or wherever you are in your VF. If you love VF and you're in North America and you have a good connection, and and we have no problems with prior behavior, then you are totally welcome to the Akai Leagues, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Alright, so joining us this league, we have Blurry from Texas, Space Time from the Northwest, and Wells Fam's also from the Northwest.
Yes. Wells Fam, I have heard from the grapevine, actually from Wells Fam themselves, their hand is doing a lot better, so they are back on VF. They're back on VF.
Awesome.
I'm so happy to hear that, and their Leifei is very scary. It's like, and Leifei is one of my more frustrating matchups because if I don't contain my habit of doing like low punch or low attacks, I will get killed. So, and then if I don't, then I have to choose carefully if they manage to get me to the wall. So, Leifei is a very terrifying opponent in this sense, for me anyways. But and Wells is really good. So, looking forward to the battles next week. He's a threat to win the whole thing. This battle between Zaytiki and Magus Reigns is really good. Seeing a lot of focus on some fundamentals here. And actually, that's what I'm watching when I fought Zaytiki, was their focus on the fundamentals, on being sharper in fundamental responses and using the advantage and knowing when they're not having the advantage. So they're being much more patient. They are a player that usually likes to rush in, but the last few months they've been like balancing all of it and watching them get stronger and stronger. Very good battle. Congratulations to Magus Reigns. That was a tight battle.
Alright, countdown starts. So that gives about 10 to 15 minutes before we start the second league of the day.
And is this the first time Dracto has been here? I really enjoyed fighting them.
Yes, this is the first time Dracto has participated. And I got my new challenger alert back up on my stream, so I'm happy.
Welcome to the league, Dracto. It was really good to meet you. And yeah, just my only point was just be a little careful with 1KK, but it is a very good starting tool. But and they were by the third round they were managing a lot, and they were using other options. They actually showed a really good use of 3P plus K. Reminds me of you. It reminds me of it's something that Pi can do really well. And just like my battle with you, it's always you got to be careful about any time that you might be doing something like an Abari against Pi. She's very good at punishing it, and so in your case, it was in the neutral, so at the opening round. But basically, the risks of doing a delay attack against Pi is you're going to get launched. So. And 9K is a very hard move to respond to. I think because of my battles with you, I'm better at responding to it than I was before. But it's a very difficult move to deal with. If you hesitate at all, then you're stuck on defense. And if you're pressing against it, you have to know that you're gambling on them not doing the kick follow-up. And if they happen to hit you with the 2 kicks, then you really need to be thinking about the Okuzemi situation like a lot against someone like Akai. And so that 9K is a deceptively in-depth situation. Because it skill checks someone responding to the single, but then the double has real legitimate threats. So you can't ignore it either. So.
Alright, so let's see what else. So we had SF Punker finishing second at the Z-Axis, this local Arizona monthly tournament. And we had, this Texas Showdown happened yesterday. VF3TB side tournament. Game Center Arashi repeats a defender, won the tournament. We had Tokyo Bay Area Cup that just happened for us middle of the night.
Yeah.
Team Jump Kingdom won.
Very powerful team. This is such a powerful team.
Yeah, it was the team with Vargo Shiro, Jackie player, and also
Aki Leon. Yeah.
The MVP from last year's finals of the Tokyo Bay Area Cup.
Yeah. That team is a professional level team, but it's congratulations to them though. Really fun people.
Yeah, it looks like at least the Bay Area Cup seems to be getting back popular. At least other parts of Japan has been having Bay Area Cups too now. And the Tokai Bay Area, the Kyushu is the southern part of Japan. Tokai is between Kansai and Kanto regions. And I think I even heard that the Hokuriku, northern Japan, had Bay Area Cups, but I haven't seen them host the second or third one yet.
I'm so happy to see them being more active, and I need to watch those battles. So, Game Newton Oyama is a really cool YouTube channel, so you do want to follow Game Newton, Game-Newton.
Oh, and the owner of Game Newton, Masuada-san, he's the one who's actually pretty much the leader right now, the organizer of EVO Japan this year.
Yeah.
He received a community award for his contributions to the fighting game community.
Yep.
So, congrats to him. He is also a major person who pushes Virtual Fire, also helping with Beat Tribe and what else. So, good to see him be recognized for his contributions.
Yeah, they gave him an amazing looking award, and really the Japanese fighting game community and arcade community just really appreciate and love Matsuda-san, and so congratulations, Matsuda-san, but also thank you. So
I heard good things about EVO this year, and then some bad things but the King of Fire side, it didn't seem to run very well on the King of Fire side or something. But most of it has been positive for the most part.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw Trish though a temporary ban EVO for Japan streams.
Yeah, there was a complication there. So a lot of the streaming on day 3 is on YouTube as they sort that issue. But I think honestly, this year's EVO Japan looks quite amazing though overall. looks like for the most part run very, very well, especially when you consider how large the attendance is. It's over 5,000 people, and that's over 5,000 just for like like the Street Fighter tournament. I can't remember, but it's nuts. The numbers are nuts. Or the Tekken tournament, but anyhow.
I think I had 1,000 plus. Yeah, but Street Fighter had like 5,000. So yeah,
yeah, Street Fighter 6 has like 5,000 people, and so it is. My understanding is overall the running of the event for that scale has been very good. There were complications as noted, and so but also the layout, everything, the availability of booths, the amount of vendors. Last year there were problems with the venues, with both the limited power draw that was available, and because of staff policies, it became a situation where they didn't have a good vendor situation last year. This year they had lots of vendors. Though some of them, like Seimitsu was more out like in the artist alley type area, so kind of hidden away. But overall though, it sounds like all the booths got plenty of attendance from people and attention, and it looks like looks like an amazing event. And also, I told others that the sitting on the floor is a big upgrade from last year's. Last year was like watching the tournament. It was like you were sitting in middle school chairs that were zip tied together, and as an American, that was really painful. And I'm sitting next to my buddy Setsuna. We're both large guys. We're both big shouldered, taller than the average Japanese guys, and so that was just like really, really tough. I have a private photo of like GT, pretty much the Japanese letting him take 3 seats. He doesn't fit. He's not 3 seats wide, but they just pretty much let him have 3 seats to himself. Because of how small these chairs are. But Evo Japan looks a lot more comfortable. Looks a lot more fun. Very active. So I love watching the photos. Shiwopan did very well in his tournaments, even though the competitive side of Shiwopan will not say they did well. So yeah, Evo Japan is exciting.
I think Kurita actually finished in 100th.
Yeah.
100 in the Street Fighter, so that's really awesome.
Yeah.
One thing's fun to see is like the VF community in Japan. Like they all basically like a tight knit group. So when they play in other games, they still like basically it's like follow the VFers how they do in the other fighting game formats.
They support they really support VFers active now and active in the past, So you'll see the VFers come out to watch Fudo play. They came out to watch Fudo's wife play. So there was an awesome photo from Kurita showing Fudo watching Yuka Kuromori, his wife, competing in Street Fighter, and you can see one in that photo, you'll see a lot of both females and males watching that match. And a lot of couples actually. So it was really cool. But yeah.
So, right, and I think the next big event is the biggest thing I think most of us would be interested is seeing the VF party that will be happening tomorrow. Yeah.
Which, technically tonight. Think of it as tonight, late tonight. Yeah.
Well, for you guys in the West Coast, that'll be like midnight.
It's like midnight for us, yeah.
11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
For the East Coast, it's like 2:30 or 3:30 a.m.
Yeah.
North America, yeah. For your people, you guys will be watching it early morning.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, but even though we don't have details of how the stream's gonna be run, we assume it's on Tetsuko Yamada's YouTube channel. That's an assumption, but at the very least, you'll probably get an update on where to find it from there if it's not. 2, we know that both Namflo and Super Golden have been tapped to be on the mic. We're not sure the full capacity, but we do believe they're going to provide some commentary for that event in English. But we'll see. We'll see how they run this party. It is billed as an international party. It is out in Yokohama, but a lot of the players that I know that are in Japan, that are international, plan to be there an hour before they open. So we'll see. Should be a lot of fun. And I think Nero and Denkai are much relieved that they're going to be playing Virtua Fighter Esports, Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown, looking like it's going to be on PS4 and PS5. They're relieved because they mainly play on pad, and so the past week they've had to play at arcades. So you know.
Yeah, Tesco showed a stack of PlayStation 4s in preparation for the event. There was I think 8 or 10 PlayStations. I had to look at the picture, but.
Quincy Pone, sadly for me, I did not go to Japan this year. So a lot of people think I'm still in China too. I am back in the United States. I have been for a month. So pretty much exactly a month today. So
Alright, welcome James. So we now have 11 players, so this should be a nice size little kumite here for everybody. Personal kumite, that's what I like to think
this is a really good league battle. There's a lot of skill. Punker has been on a roll, and I would actually probably favor them to win this league battle. Jinx is always a scary threat, and there's yourself, have been on a roll. Right now you are the leader with 5 wins, so 5 first place finishes, and I think Setsuna's 4, and I think I now am at 4 after last league battle. So this is really fun. And there's a lot of good stuff in here. It's a lot of good character variety. Everybody in here is actually, it's got pretty good fundamentals.
Yep. And we still have 5 spaces left. So if you want to just rush in and join, you definitely have there's different space left. Passcode 0428 for North America. I'm also playing this league, but I'm also take a break at the last league of the day. So with 11 players, 30, 11 rounds, so about 40 minutes is what you expect this should take.
Yeah, this is going to be a very fun league battle. And
so I think the main event for the VF part is a random 3-on-3 team tournament.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
And everything else is a casual setup for everyone to play. So I'm not entirely sure how much is going to be streamed or not, but we'll find out soon.
Yeah, and remember, it's a team battle powered by Dopo beer and Red Bull. Don't try not to mix those two things though.
Red Bull has supplied chicken wings to the
Oh, they're supplying chicken wings. Okay, awesome.
They're supplying chicken wings.
Awesome.
Babuichi or Babukichi, I can't remember. I'm pronouncing the name wrong. It's a teammate of Tesco, and on the Tesco No Heya Bay Area Cup team, supplying I think 12 cases of the Virtua Fighter beer. So. Alright guys, we're gonna start the second league now, so good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
I'll talk to you afterwards.
Alright, of course my phone would crash. We don't like it when our phone crashes. That works out, but still. Alright, hey everybody, here we got started with Twisted Hand. This is going to be a very exciting league battle. It's a toss-up about who's going to win this. So, but we don't focus just on the wins, we focus on the development and the variety of play. Alright, so Twisted Hand, we got one of the 2 Jean players here. So I am going to use a lot of evasion against John. But I try to pad it with some like buffering dash and stuff. That was a really good call there. There's a little bit of a hiccup going on in our match right now, but it hasn't changed any decisions on my end. But I can just see that it's stuttering at points. Okay, I did not do. I intended to evade, but I think I held on to the down reaction. Problem with that string is the high, but you can focus on it. Alright, good game. Thanks for a valid twisted hand. Let's see, I'll have to monitor, see if the connection was coming on my end, but I think it was just on the connection between Twisted Hand and me. I don't think it was specific to. I don't think it's going to be a problem in other matchups. Just that our connection got stuttery with Twisted Hand, but again, it didn't change any of my decisions. I kind of knew how I was going to fight that, and we had really good exchanges, and they took a really good round. So, very good stuff. Good game. What happened? Okay, they're all looking like that. Okay. Let's see here. Alright, Jinx won their battle. Looks like against Magus Reigns. Blurring won their battle against Akai. Congratulations, Blurring. Blurring is really, really scary. And then Zaytiki. So Punker won that battle. Punker is one of the people that I am saying is likely to win this league battle, based on the way they've been performing during this season. It's pretty clear they're playing so well, like really, really well. And I had a lot of battles with them, and it's very scary. Like in a one-off, it's very scary against Punker. Even in a full set, it's pretty scary because I think we went back and forth quite a bit. I had a streak, but they made really good adjustments, and now these league battles are going to be pretty crazy between me and Punker for sure. All right, and then Space Time has fought me a lot, so they have like instincts on where to apply pressure. It's really scary, but their Jeffrey's really good. That was really good that he just went to that. Yeah, there we go. Really good. That was an excellent round, Space Time. Like I said, Space Time is a really big threat to me. I might need to reset my router. If I'm feeling the connection like this with Space Time too, that's concerning. Very good. His instincts, he just knows that's what's going to come. Alright, we have to play on those instincts though. Alright, good game, Space Time. game. Alright, let's see how the connection is with me and Akai. I'm really worried about it. Good. That's Taylor, so it's really scary against Pi. Very good. Oh, good game, Akai. That was a really good 3K plus G here. This 3K plus G completely crushed the low swipe. It's really on point. It was a good read, and it's exactly the right thing to do there. Punished me for using that move from range there. It was a really good read. Good game, Akai. That was excellent. It was a very excellent battle. So Akai made really good use of circulars, actually. I really like these adjustments in Akai's game and techniques that he's using more. He used circulars to cut off a lot of things. It was really good. Really, really good. Very good battle. Dragto is using very good techniques also here. He's using a really powerful tool of Pi's. Now I am attacking the vulnerabilities of the highs that they're using. That was weird. That's not what I inputted, but that's okay. So here I side lock them into a sequence. So I know that they like to attack. So now locking them into a Bari is really powerful. Very good choice. That was really good because it was a delayed attack. Alright, good game. That was an excellent final round. That third round was really intense. I had to lock them into knowledge situations. They're not afraid to attack. They kind of a Bari. That said, they did defend at the right moments to not get launched as much. So that was really, really good instincts on their part. It's really interesting. Their way of playing is very, very interesting. So I can't knock the way that they're doing a Bari in that game. Cannot knock it actually, but I can try to punish it more. I do think 8K is still very strong for how they like to play, but they didn't go 1K like crazy this game at all. It was really good. So the next sequence should be here. Yeah, that line. Alright, blurring, here we go. Let's do this. No, I post about the VF party because I want more people to watch the VF party. And because it's an awesome event. I'm excited for it. Alright, thanks for the battle, blurring. I'm gonna sharpen you back up, my friend. So I'm fighting Wells Fam next. It's going to be very scary. Always scary. And he is on a tear. That's awesome. He might be the one who wins this one. So come on, Wells Fam. Welcome back. And yeah, you got Akai. He had a good performance against Akai. So we might have Punker versus Wells Fam here in this event. I'm going to do what I can. But I think I'm fighting Wells Fam next. Is this Akai versus Blair? No, it's Dracto versus Magus Reigns. Alright, excellent. That should be a really good match. Zaytigi versus Space Time. Definitely the way that Zaytigi's playing now, much more patient, so his battle with Space Time should be very, very interesting. Wish I could see it. Wish I could watch that match. Alright, Wells Fam, here we go. No, I'm fighting Jinx. Okay, fighting Jinx. Yeah. I see. It's because of this top line that it had to... Yeah, that jumps to that. Alright. Alright, Jinx, here we go. Jinx is, again, very scary opponent. Do not count him out. He turns it around a lot starting on the third round. But it's because he does a lot of targeted reads. You gotta be very fundamentally sound against him. And more than that, you gotta be anti-go. Yep. Yep. Too much doing that though because the timing was not right there. Hooded wrong. Good game. That was crazy. I got lucky on 2 whiffs here. It does happen in this matchup quite a bit, but it was nuts that that his 9P plus K his 9P whiffed, and another move whiffed. It's really unfortunate for him that those 2 whiffs were really consequential, because he had really interesting reads on those. So is it Zaytigi next? Might be Zaytigi next, with Wellsfam being the last opponent. Wellsfam, here we go. This the way it does its organizing completely confounds me. Alright, here we go, Wells fam. LD Wells is a really awesome player. Again, I'm glad you're black. I'm glad your hand's feeling better, my friend. Alright, here we go. Hit it. Very scary. Yep, there it is. The connection's still not feeling all too hot. It must be on my end. Like, this is really... My connection to everybody just hasn't been the best today. Well, in this league battle. It's not... Like, today it was fine. First league battle. Good game. It didn't change decision making, but it makes the situation confirming like a bit harder, like quite a bit harder actually. It makes you want to commit to a lot of stuff, and you're like, don't do it. But yeah, good game though, LD Wells. Very good game. I am a targeted masher. So, but I like to think I masher with severe intent, which means that's not a masher, right? But yeah, good game. But I do like to hit buttons. Just depends on which buttons I'm gonna hit. Very good game. It was very intense. Am I on break? Yeah, I'm on break. It's a good time to get my caffeine up. Alright. Dracto versus Atigi. I would favor Zaytigi in this, but Dracto has got a very is aggressive with Pie's pokes. I don't want like I have to assess Dracto's game more before I say too much about it, right? I'll just say though that Dracto likes to attack, and that means that if somebody scores advantage on them, they've got to be a bit more careful. But Pi can turn some situations around, so there are some things that Pi can do to really disrupt what the opponent's trying to do in here. So let's see how they play. Very good. And again, they have enough of an active defense that you cannot rule out their way of playing. And right now, Zaytigi chose the right moments to throw them, which is interesting, right? Did the throw work because they were guarding? That's good. Just means that they didn't guess the throw escape, and maybe they're not doing throw escapes yet. Because if they're doing throw escapes, it might be. But Zaytigi went for the neutral throw quite a bit, I think. Then and so maybe they just were outguessed, because a lot of times you don't do a lot of people won't do neutral throw until end of round. It was a good battle though, but Zaytigi had a good strong feeling about how to attack Dracto, and Dracto did have had some successes within the rounds, like active defense was there, so I don't want to say they don't defend. They do. They do. Though Zaytigi goes very quick on the attacks and the throw in this time. But again, when you see Zaytigi fight me, they're going to be much more patient. Keep it up, Dracto, though. There's a lot of cool stuff in your VF. A lot of cool stuff in your VF. I like it. I like the move variety that I see. It's hard, like I said, it's hard to know for me, like, where you're... I know that you like to attack, but it does look like there's good reasoning in it. But the risk of attacking as much is that the counter hits are going to hurt a lot, especially against Pi. But she is good at striking. So, alright, let's see what's next. Right now, we've got Space Time versus Twisted Hand into an interesting battle there. It should be a really good battle. Both of these players are, in their own way, pretty patient. Jean can be a bit more safe in some ways, like with spacing. So yeah. Alright, congratulations to Twisted Hand. Alright, now we're fighting Magus Reigns. Right. Twisted Hand's fighting Akai. Alright, Magus Reigns, let's do this.
Round one. Ready, go!
I was able to do a fuzzy guard there. This was a good throw against ECD. Man, really good choices. Magus Reigns, that was a really good first round. That was. This problem with the sweep is that you're minus even if you hit, so. This does turn into a mid at at max charge. That was so cool. That was great. So I blocked your low punch and took advantage of the -5, you being at -5. So my 1K is really fast. So then the only thing that was going to stop it would have been like the fast uppercut. Yeah, good game. Or a low punch. No, low punch would lose at that disadvantage. So yeah, good game, good game. I like their Vanessa. It's on the right track. It is still primarily defense stance based. Nothing wrong with that, but I do think offense stance is a really powerful way to play Vanessa. It's a very scary way, but it does take a while to learn. Alright, congratulations, Punker, on the battle against Wells fam. Very intense. Alright, it's me versus Punker now. This is a big deal. This is really, yeah, this is a big deal. Alright, Punker, let's do this. Oh, this will be a bit scarier. Gotta remember a few things. Oh, I got some things. Very good. Alright, thank you for the battle, my friend. I think the pressure from our matches a week ago, had him being more conservative during this first battle between us. That's back throw, I think. If it's did I jump on you? If I jumped on you, it's back throw. I think it was back throw because I think I did back throw to you the whole game. Yeah, so it's a good battle, but more defensive than I was expecting it to be. So that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying that I was like, oh, he's playing a bit more cautiously in this one. So. But that was a very fun battle, and you're having an amazing run right now. Really tearing through the field. Blaring versus Twisted Hands next. Zaytigi. I'm fighting Zaytigi. Zaytigi is a very scary battle. It can be, and it has been. The more Zaytigi fights me, it's very interesting and it gets very scary. Last week in our casual session, you could really see it. You can see just once this is giving it away right now, but Zaytigi is the type of player where he once he feels the opponent, it's very, very, very scary. I just make it hard for him to feel confident in his reads, but once he has them, he's a very terrifying player. So, to me too. So, keep it up, Zaytigi. Alright, here we go. That was nuts. That was an awesome round, actually. Zaytiki, really awesome stuff. He's gonna go for crush a lot, and so that's very scary. Yeah, he's going for crush a lot. But I can double down on the crush because I can counter hit the crap out of people that try to do it. See, that's doubling down on crush again.
Round 4. Ready,
I should have believed. Alright, awesome game, Zaytiki. That was a blast. That was a very scary game and awesome stuff. Again, the reason Zaytiki is very scary is if you can crush, really terrifying, right? And Akira, one of the openings so your backdash opening was really good, but you can do with Akira, you can do backdash, full backdash into quarter circle back punch. It's really strong against Leon. It's really, really strong against Leon. Because if I approach you, I'm going to get killed by it. And it gives you a combo. So you want to do like backdash into boom, right? Because it has so many active hit frames. And if I block it, like you're plus, right? The only real threat to it is evade. Evade and whiff. But again, if you're doing backdash because you're anticipating certain openings from me. So. Alright, we'll join Akai.
Yeah. Where your attack would come out only when it's count hit or norm hit, but won't come out if it's blocked. But then we go first. First, say congratulations to Chancellor for getting first.
Thank you so much.
SF Pucker second, and LD Wells getting third. Thank you guys for playing. We'll do one more league.
That was a very exciting
and continue playing. Please stay, and those who can't, thank you very much for playing. Alright.
Alright, Zaytiki has brought in the Leon. He's had a Leon for quite a while. It's always very scary. Alright, it looks like we're going to commercial break. Thank you very much, Magus Reigns. Thank you on the congratulations. Alright, Punker's bringing out the Wolf. Zaytiki's bringing out the Leon. Very good stuff.
round 1. Ready,
Yeah, once the ad break stops, 3 minutes, I finish posting to the other places, we'll start to count down 5 matches again.
Okay, sounds good. That was a very good league battle session. Blurring's bringing on the Aoi. Very cool. Just be very careful with the Leons. Leon has got a very nice matchup against Aoi if they know if they know how to apply it. But Aoi has stuff too. Aoi can fight anyone. It's just very technical, but I think that's really awesome that Blurring is using Aoi. I think it will teach them a lot, actually. Like, I think, honestly, it will really work on a lot of aspects of Blurring's game, and it will use their... Blurring already has good Yomi, so Aoi's a character that can reward that a lot, but may have to solve problems differently with different opponents. That hopping descending punch is a very scary move. It forces you into having to escape a low throw, and that forced low throws, like guaranteed low throw, is very. There's not many ways to do it in this game, but it's very strong in this game, and that's why there's not many ways to do it. It would be really powerful if it was easy to force low throw. In this game, low throw is quite strong, and that's why the developers have limited the availability of guaranteed low throw. But low throw is only really good when it's guaranteed or when you have a very strong read.
Ready, go!
When low throw is not guaranteed, the reason you need the read is because it's very easy for an active opponent to accidentally defeat low throw. Even if they do a forward dash, they would beat low throw when it's not guaranteed. So it's like, I mean, just as an example. But there are predictable times when people crouch dash. And for situations like that, low throw can be good, but that requires a read. Or that would reward a read and be less risky if it's being used as a read. Otherwise, it's kind of reckless. A good battle between Punker and Magus Reigns.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Alright, I didn't see any ads, but I'm not sure. Are they still in the ad break? I don't know.
Oh no, the ad should just finish. So,
Okay.
Thank you guys for your patience. And we'll start to counter after this match between SF Punker and Magus Reigns.
Quincy Bones asks a good question. Do you try to react to your elbow being blocked or not, Janchai? Kind of. Here's how I situation check elbow. I'm looking for counter hit, which means you hit a button, right? If I see your character attacking when my elbow's on its way, that's what I'm trying to react to. And then I also try to react to crouch hit. If I see you crouching, or especially if I see you do a low punch and it's late, then I'm going to assume that I've got Nitaku with my elbow. Aside from that, elbow, understand that elbow on normal hit is +0. Not so great. So I could low punch, but actually what I do is I do the same option I would do for guard. Normal hit and guard are the hardest things to react to. When your opponent is going to block and when you're going to hit with a normal hit, those are hard to see. And because those are hard to see, then I'm more likely to do a crouch dash. Because if you blocked it, my crouch dash is a fuzzy guard. And if you got hit by it, my crouch dash allows me to respond to what you're doing and then either block like a low punch if I see that, or switch into an attack if I see you didn't attack yet. So that's how I play elbow. That's how I try to play elbow, right? I'm not saying I'm 100% at that, but that is my process when I'm using elbow. Now sometimes I do 6 PP because I just have a strong feeling that you're gonna either get crouch hit, in which it's guaranteed, maybe counter hit, but actually I do it because I've observed that the player, well, I used to do it recklessly, and other Leon players do it recklessly too. But actually now, against very reactive players, I found that they'll lose their patience and they'll try to do something after blocking the elbow, and so the elbow punch can work. But if they defend that, you got to stop doing it right away, because elbow punch is very vulnerable. If the player evaded the first elbow, Leon is screwed. And if they just wait, then the punch will go past them, and now he's back turned with guaranteed punishment. If they block the elbow and they evade the punch follow up, he's screwed too. And then if they block elbow punch, he's -13, so he's going to get punished. So you don't want to. Leon does not want to do elbow punch, and the opponent successfully defend it in any way. He can only do that if he's that confident that it's going to hit. But for checking, for situation confirming, I look for counter hit or crouch hit, and anything else I should generally do a fuzzy guard, maybe a low punch. Yeah, so I try to watch your character. I try to watch my opponent's animation while I'm doing the elbow. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but that's how I try to play it.
Alright, we got 4 more matches to go. We got Jimmy joining in. Thank you for joining, and thanks for playing Jinx, Space Time, and Tristahan.
Thank you guys very much. Really happy to have you here. Really happy to have Jimmy Claymore in here also. Excellent. And Blurring again, welcome to your Aoi. I would love to do some Aoi matches if you want to do that sometime. It's a lot of fun. Yes, you want to confirm. I recommend confirming situations, but I'm also going to say that's hard for a beginner and even an intermediate to do. It's something that you do with a lot of experience. Situation confirm kind of requires a lot of experience to get good at, but I do tell people about it because I think them understanding that that's what's happening will help them. Eventually, they will build that skill. But I think if I didn't tell people that that's how I do it, it can be very stressful to try to hit confirm everything in this game even. Hit confirming is quite hard outside of counter hit, to be honest. Situation confirm is not exactly the same as hit confirming. Right? Situation confirm is I'm going to predict this hit, like what the contact is going to be based on watching your character while I deliver my attack. So I'm trying to use the information to help me make a decision a little early. A lot of times, yes, and actually Akai, this is a good opportunity to talk about what Akai talked about. So Akai will phrase it as different in total animations. When I talk about stun, I'm technically talking about the same thing. But basically, because of the difference in the character's timing and reaction and recovery time, when between like a guard or a normal hit, or basically on different types of hits, there is room to do some option selects where you're like, okay, when I do a low punch and I input throw, like at this timing, it'll do throw, like if I hit with it, but if the opponent blocked it, the throw probably won't come out. So I'll just be, so if I do throw into guard throw escape, that is an option select way to play. But yeah. But it is hard to react to someone blocking. It's from experience. There's experience that will tell me, oh, I think they're going to block here. And if they don't block, that's sometimes why you might see me actually hit somebody and then not do a follow-up because I wasn't sure. And I was like, I think they might block that. And then I got surprised that I hit them. Right? So what I've learned to do in that situation, if that happens, is to not like overdo it. Don't commit to trying to hit them, and because some people do that. Instead, try to train yourself to just do a crouch dash or ECD or something that uses up time and reposition for the okizeme. So that's a situation you can react to after the fact, right? You're like, oh, I did, like, it looked like they were going to guard, but it ended up doing a normal hit and I launched them, but I can't do the combo, so don't try to do the combo. But I've got an advantage, so I'm going to try to apply pressure. And Leon has really good ways of doing okizeme. His sidekick is a really good okizeme tool. But also, if somebody tech rolls, elbow is really good. It's such a safe way to just apply pressure and just stick it out there in case they try to attack or try to do something they shouldn't. Yeah. But yeah, that's a reminder of the tip I gave at the start of the stream, for both streams, or both times I entered the streams, was that players were asking me, when should I apply Nitaku? It's kind of tough, right? And I'd say for beginners, when you're going to block. So when you see your opponent, like you see Wolf here, doing like that big kick, and you're going to block it, then just be ready to do the okizeme the moment that block happens. So when that kick goes into your guard, then you can right away input a throw or input a mid attack, a good mid attack. There's going to be a lot of situations like that. Now, if you're worried about string follow-ups, just understand that a lot of times if there is a string follow-up, then just tell yourself defend the string follow-up, because if I defend the string follow-up, it's probably a Nitaku. Now, of course, some characters have plus on block, but those are so rare, and mainly it's Lei Fei that makes you feel like he's got it a lot, because he's got a lot of push on block and he's got some guard on block, or plus on guard. So, but you learn from experience. At the end of the day, you do have to learn from experience, but if you can track the experience and study it, that's better. But the experience is required. Right, like I'll call out Nitaku situations just on block here. I won't call all of them because I don't have them all memorized, but I'll just say that looks like a good Nitaku situation. Right. Wolf's uppercut launcher, that's like a good Nitaku situation. It sucks that doesn't seem like it's guaranteed damage. So, yeah, 100%. Yeah, so like that Leon kick in the beginning, that counter hit, that crumples, if you block it, he's in Nitaku. Right? Same for his uppercuts. Right? Now this is fuzzy, so here's the funny thing. When people do hopping crushing attacks like that air elbow, those are actually usually fuzzy. They can fuzzy guard. So Wolf can fuzzy guard after doing that. 9P plus K makes it such a good Okizeme tool because it crushes lows, and if you block it, they can fuzzy guard. Same for Brad. Brad's got that move. If you block it, he gets to do a fuzzy guard. Yeah. So those moves, the low crushing like hop moves, for a lot of characters, the ones that are that involve looking like they're doing this from the air, those are usually you can fuzzy guard. Leon's 8K, Nitaku. He's in Nitaku. So.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Yeah, so if that knee was blocked, then yeah, but let's see here. Another thing also is that if you don't know if a move has got guaranteed damage or Nitaku, at least if you do the Nitaku, the odds are pretty solid, and it's not like a terrible option. If you thought it was guaranteed damage but it was not, there's actually PK is good when it's guaranteed. It's good as a whiff punisher, but PK, it really sucks when your opponent defends against PK really well, because that's like 2 highs in a row. If PK is evaded for a lot of characters, it's pretty bad, and if it's ducked under, it's really bad. So understand, and when people mash low punch, then that could be bad. So PK, so trying to do guaranteed damage when it's not guaranteed is got quite a risk, because it's usually it's a high attack, and until it's like a really big mid, right? But doing Nitaku in the same situation, the risk reward is not so bad. But if you have guaranteed damage, then you should definitely go for guaranteed damage as best as you know.
Alright, this is the last match, and then we'll start the last league of the day. Anyone still want to join? Passcode is 0428. Got 8 people right now in the room. The Walk Reaper and Jimmy join.
On Jimmy's Blaze here, something fun to watch is watching the way he's using elbow kick, right? He's trying to confirm his elbows into elbow kick, and it doesn't end there. If he gets the elbow kick, he's got Okizeme, so watch what he does after elbow kick. Now, he made good decisions based on assuming Punker was going to tech roll, but at the same time, if Punker didn't tech roll, it's very scary because Blaze can do dash low punch into more damage after elbow kick. So elbow kick is a good situation to watch, and a lot of characters with an elbow kick do have this. They do have this Okizeme situation that's very scary if they confirm elbow kicks. And Blaze has got very scary Okizeme, and the elbow kick situation makes it more scary because elbow kick gives him a way to punish people that stay down. It's one of the knockdowns that he can punish when they stay down. So L-Blaze, what L-Blaze has by default is amazing ways to do ukemizemi, punish people that tech roll. Like apply pressure on people that tech roll. He is amazing at that. So when he has a knockdown like elbow kick that allows him to go dash into low punch, oh, it's so scary. So scary. Alright, good luck everybody. Very good game. Very good game. Alright, here we go. We're fighting Zaytigi, Leon versus L-Blaze. Alright. Especially after that advice I gave about elbow, well, that I observed about Jimmy's play, was how elbow kick is really important for people to understand what's so scary about it, especially L-Blaze.
Round one. Ready, go! Round two. Ready, go! Round three. Ready, go!
Thank you for the battle, Zaytigi.
Forgot to train, eh?
I try to blow you up because you're very scary once you have the read, man. I am afraid of your, like, when you have the read, you're very scary. Part of it is because you do act on reads like me. So, like, I believe that you're a similar type of fighter that I am. So I'm afraid of what happens once you get quote unquote, people will say momentum. For me, it's more about, well, you get a feel and you get some reads, and you're not afraid to act on them. That's how I am, and so it's really like scary. And so, um, but I love our battles. I really do. I like the way you fight, and I love watching your battles with other people too. The Quincy puns, I really appreciate the chat today. I really love it. I love the concepts we're talking about and your questions. So it makes for a very fun VF talk.
Round one. Ready, go! Excellent.
Okay, it's okay. Jimmy is just reading. He gets so scary in round 3.
Ready, go!
It's very scary. Very scary. really good crouch slash in the side kick here.
Round 3. Ready,
I tried to block it, but I think I must have evaded or something. No, recovery hit. That's interesting. These situations are tough. I know this one.
round 5. Ready, go!
Thank you for the battle, Jimmy. That lucky guy. Good game.
Forgot to train, eh?
The Okizeme is a very scary threat, right? As long as El Blaze does a knockdown where he can punish you for staying down, it's so scary. Because once he does that, it gets you into a state of wanting to tech roll. And if he reads when you tech roll, it's so bad. It's like so bad for you. Now, I did not respond to 4P plus K the way I wanted to, so, but I really, I like the training. Hey, Quincy, I'm really glad to hear that. I'm really glad that you learn a lot from that, and I do think that it helps general fighting game understanding and decision making, and game playing in general, right? Board games teach a lot, and like a player like Dark Nova Void will say that it's their experience with Yu-Gi-Oh that teaches them a lot about how to make decisions in VF. So
Round 1. Ready, go!
this is real risky. I was able to mix up that situation more. This forced side turn situation is scary. That's why I do it to you. And what I did with the low kick is something that only Leon can do against Vanessa in that situation. So I did use a very specific answer. This was a really exciting game. This was a very exciting game, actually. Magus Reigns, you played it. You actually, honestly, played that very well on a lot of things. So I enjoyed that battle a lot. I am out-knowledging you, but you're playing very solid. You're playing very good. It is, yeah, it does. Well, to a degree, right? There are things that change playing like 4FT versus this game, right? I would say like when you play 4FT, you don't want to stay in a throwable situation too long. You only want to, just for the moment where throw escape is fine, and then you want to get out of there. And crouch backdash is really strong in the VF4 games and then VF5 vanilla and VF5R. So crouch backdash is really strong, and so because of that, you want to get good at the movement options with crouch backdash, and you want to just you don't want to be vulnerable to throw for too long, and the longer you're in that, suddenly delayed throw, delayed launcher are very scary. The longer you stay up close in those games, then the scarier those options become. Yeah, oh, it's always really good. I love the Okizeme in all of the VF games. Yeah, it's good, man. That's awesome. I'm glad you could apply that. Yeah. Yeah, 3K is really important. Elbow, if you're using the spacing, then the elbow is really hard to do, even in the VF game in VF4, right? But even then, like elbow is really powerful though, because if they get staggered, they're in trouble. It's such a powerful mix-up situation.
Round one. Ready?
Man, I totally forgot all of my El Blaze notes. I actually studied El Blaze the other day. And then I totally forgot my notes. Man, that's the weakness to that. That was good. How do I... There's gotta be a way. I think I just mash P and then guard low. But yeah. Such a delayed long wait for that. Alright, good game, Reaper. I was able to get him before he started to feel it. Good game. Good game. I need to train all this situation, especially the ground game stuff. Actually, I need to start defending those because I think a lot of those are not guaranteed. But it's one of those where it's like, okay, wake up, block low or high depending on the down attack. So we'll work on that. Alright, Punker, here we go. Punker's Wolf. Very scary. I love a good Wolf. Wolf is awesome. Drog is in the room. Awesome. Glad to see Drog is in the chat. He's going for forward right away. Okay. His off timing is interesting. This might lead to some opportunity though. There we go. He's using a lot of off timing here. That was a really good option opening. Good round. This has got to be a low block. I don't know. Good game, Punker. That was intense.
Forgot the train, eh?
Yeah. Which cross-up did we do? I'm trying to remember. Was it a hop kick cross-up? Or was it the down attack that he did? But no, very good to see you. Hope you're having a good weekend. Versus Reaper. Oh, okay, yes, yeah. Oh, there are so many cross-ups that happen between Reaper and I, though. Like, there's so many times where we do attacks that, like, switch positions, too. So it's not, like, it's really funny. Not as much lately because he plays a lot more Moral the past year. But, good luck on the exams. Oh, hang in there. Cheering for you. Good luck. Alright, Jacktoe, here we go. Again, Jacktoe has got a very interesting style. It's very frantic. Very frantic, but they're gonna, like, when they start scoring on counter hit launches, it's gonna be very scary. When they start scoring on these counter hit launches, their pie will be very, very scary, actually. Good game. Good game. Very good game. Their pie is definitely got quite a bit of threats that's going to be coming out of that. So keep it up, Drek. Keep it up. You have a very nice pie. It's going to be pretty scary. It's on the right track. Wells, here we go. Here we go, my friend. Good game. Good game, LD Wells. It got scary there. Like, I felt like the momentum was about to swing. I'm really looking forward to a lot of battles with you next week, man. It's going to be so much fun fighting next week. Let's wait till Akai's done with his matches before joining Discord. He's currently fighting against Magus Reigns. Magus Reigns takes the battle against Drac, actually. Forgot Akai, I don't think is in this league, are they? Yeah, they're not. That was a lot of fun. Thank you all very much.
Alright. Thank you guys for playing for the last league. Congratulations, Chan Chan, on getting 3 first place finish today. Jimmy getting second, and the Walkbeaker third.
I'm so happy I got a hat trick in. So it's like, yay. Yay, I got a hat trick. That's a term from hockey when you win like 3-0. So, alright. Congratulations. That was really good battles. Lots to learn from Jimmy's L-Blaze. Reaper's L-Blaze too. So, good stuff. Thank you very much as always, Akai.
So I'll just have the room open for those who just want to play some matches. I'm just going to get some matches before I end the stream and celebrate my sister's birthday.
Happy birthday to your sister.
Thank you. I'll thank her. I'll say thanks for her. Alright, so the next open league session will be Friday. We'll just continue playing here for those who want to play. I will still host on Tuesday for those who want to play on that day. Just anything goes like that.
I love the anything goes Tuesdays. Yeah.
I'm going to see if I could stay awake to watch some of the VF party.
I do recommend people take naps before that. But it's going to be fun to watch, I think. Yeah. And we get to watch Denkai and Nero on pad play against the Japanese. That'd be awesome.
That guy does know how to play on a joystick. Yeah,
He does, but
first.
as others have mentioned, he's noticeably slower on it. So
Yeah, okay.
it's just what people are used to. So yeah, it's gonna stream live, but we're just assuming it's gonna be on Tetsuko Yamada's YouTube channel, but I haven't seen an official announcement of where it's gonna be streamed. But I assume that that's where it's gonna be. But we will post about it in the Discords, in the VF Discord, and on Twitter. It'll definitely be posted about where to watch the stream, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And a lot of players are gonna be drunk. That's like the awesome part. And the Japanese, when they get drunk, they get really drunk. So, it'll be very interesting and fun, and the vibes will be pretty good. And there is gonna be the random team battle, right? So, random team battle is a fun way to do it too. And I think some players, they're traveling like 2 hours from where Evo is to get to this event. So
yeah, most of the players, a lot of the Japanese players are participating in Evo, but I think the train system in Japan is
complicated.
The train system is actually like
it's amazing.
Yeah, horrible, right? Yeah, so.
It's a wonderful train system. It's just very intricate because it's the whole place is intricate. But yeah, but really really good experience with the train system in Japan.
Hey, thanks for playing LD Wells.
LD Wells, thank you very much. Looking forward to sparring sessions, man.
Good to see that your wrist or arm or hand is recovered.
Very happy about it. It's been a while, so I really miss their presence in the VF, and now I'm happy to see their presence back. So yeah. And today it's fun watching the L-Blaze army go off. L-Blaze is a character that I have been very interested in. But definitely uncomfortable for me to learn his ranges when I first played him. But that move, 4P plus K, that uppercut that leaves him back turn, is really important move. It's like the thing that smooths that out. So if you make that a threat, then the range plays a little different then. And he doesn't seem to be so weak to backdash as, if he can use this move really well. Sidekick is also really good. Jimmy did a good crouch dash sidekick against me to punish a backdash.
Round 3. Ready, go!
Yeah, those who's from Europe watching the stream, Thursdays, normal the session that I usually host on Thursday, I'm most likely going to change it to be Friday. Mainly because I think I have several appointments in the morning, so I might be rushing to get back in time to host. So just better to be safe and just change the day to be on a Friday evening for you guys, but for me it'll be a Friday afternoon.
Oh, you're doing double duty on Friday, huh? You're doing EU and
I think so.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's okay.
Satsuna's usually available
like Winter
on Friday.
2023.
Yeah, it's nothing like Winter 2023. Winter 2023, Akai did a lot of work. Like it was like a session pretty much 6 days a week. So, and honestly, Akai is a busy person in their day-to-day life. They just have a lot to take care of. So, we appreciate your time a lot, Akai.
No. It's a fun hobby.
Yeah. VF is, VF very much is it's clearly a lifestyle game. It's the way that chess or Go are. It's the type of game where a lot of people that get into it, they still keep finding stuff new, and they still keep feeling challenged by the game, And I know that all fighting games feel that way to each of their players, but there is definitely something that at least us VF players are feeling with VF that we just love so much and can't get enough of. And I do think this game has got like is evil on dopamine addiction because you're making all these decisions so rapidly. And so you're getting hit with adrenaline, you're getting hit with dopamine every time you feel like you're excited about the choices you made, but it's just happening so fast and frequently that it's kind of addictive. But it keeps our brains very stimulated.
Yeah, there's a Twitter post by Merlin from Australia. He's a Tekken player from the Perth region, so that's where Elson lives.
Oh wow!
And he's in Japan. He's actually participating in the EF party also.
Oh hell yeah!
On his he arrived there 1 week early. I think he went to the Nagoya. I think that's like Tokai or Kansai region.
Mm-hmm.
One of the arcades there, and there's a shop owner. The arcade owner is like 65 years old and is playing matches against Merlin.
Yeah.
And Merlin lost like 0-20 to a 65-year-old player. So I was like, if I can be 65 years old and still 0.0 someone, I'll be happy.
Well, I think so. I mean, look at the 50-plus-year-old gang on VF though. Like, there's quite a few high rankers in them. Yeah, there's quite a few 30 ranks, but there's quite a few like 40-something ranks in the 50-plus crowd.
Yeah, Kurita is 50 years old, and he won the Evil Side tournament in Las Vegas.
Year. Yeah, amazing matches against Gentleman Thief. Those matches are so good. Gentleman Thief won in the winners bracket, knocked Kurita into the losers bracket. That was so exciting. Yeah, this VF party I'm excited about. I kept posting about it, and I want to make it clear. I had to remind people in the Discord, it's natural for people to see Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown not being at EVO Japan, and I have to repeat to everyone that was a community decision. That wasn't Sega. That wasn't EVO. They were totally allowed to have a VF5 Ultimate Showdown tournament. But just remember that this year's EVO Japan is the first year that they have registration fees. And the registration fees are not cheap. For the overall event, I think it's like around maybe $80, but I'm only guessing. I don't know. But like for the players, a lot of them travel. They book a hotel. And so there is a cost going to EVO. And so Tetsuga Yamada was concerned that some of the players just might not like how much it would cost them if they went to EVO Japan. So she put it up to a vote. She asked the community if they would like to do EVO Japan side tournament, or would they like to do a separate event elsewhere, which is now the VF party. And they chose a different event. They said the community chose to have their Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown event be separate from EVO Japan. So it was a choice by the community, and it was, I believe, put up to a vote to the community because I saw that poll, and it was very well considered. So it's the community gets what it wants, and it got what it wants, and there's no nefarious or there's no neglect happening here. There's a VF5 Ultimate Showdown event, and we're gonna watch it tonight. And it's a really good thing to watch now, too. It's like a lot of tournaments at EVO Japan have settled, so a lot of people are hungry for more action, and they get Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. So, tonight.
Actually, a lot of the participants going to the VF party actually is at EVO right now.
Yes.
So they're paying. Is it the cost of registration for every day?
No. It's for the whole. So you pay for the whole event, the whole weekend.
Okay.
And then you also pay for the tournament fee.
Okay.
But the tournament fee is usually less. Now, I don't know how it's structured, but also, again, this is the first year that Japan has done this. In the past, tournaments couldn't really charge because they're worried that if you had children participating, if you had minors participating, there's concern that it's like gambling because you put money in and you get money out. That's not cool. In a lot of conservative places, some conservative, not all, but in some conservative places, it's seen like gambling. And so the concern
it also helps with like fake registration of people who has no intention
yes.
at all
So
attending.
So to Akai's point just now, I believe registration fees are important in running tournaments because if you don't have them, especially when you have multiple tournaments, a lot of people are just going to register. They're just going to hit all the check boxes they care about, and then on the day and then during the tournament, they may decide I don't have time to play that tournament, so they skip a couple or skip a bunch even, and this has been seen a lot in past Evos. There was Evo 2007, where they experimented with the structure of having like 4 or more regional Evos, and then giving you seeded spots into the Evo Vegas. And the problem is when they made that event free, there were a lot of people registering and not playing, and that really is hard. It slows down the organization, the running of the tournament. So why is VF not a main game this year? I think I was honestly really surprised that it was a main game last year, and I'm really happy it was a main game last year. And last year it had a case to be made because it was quote unquote relatively newish, even though it's a port to a new engine. But at the same time, it is actually seen as a legacy game. A lot of people, many people mistakenly think this is Virtua Fighter 5 vanilla, but a lot of the community, they know this is Final Showdown, and so there is a case to be made that this is a legacy game. So I was not expecting it to be a main game this year. I really wasn't. But I do think VF last year drew big numbers of interested registrants. And of the play, and a lot of people that did play, just it had to deal with the whole free registration issue. But Virtua Fighter definitely shows that in Japan it has a lot of players. But it's not, but Third Strike has a lot of players. I do think, considering that the two big DreamHack events last year were Beat Tribe Cup and Confederation Cup, both have a high level of hype. And so I think Third Strike was worthy of being put in as the quote-unquote legacy game. The game that we know that in Japan is still really popular, is a legacy game but has a modern audience. I'm not going to gripe about Third Strike getting that spot, but I would like VF to be in there for sure. But I also think, the community... I honestly believe that if they had done a side tournament at Evo Japan, there would have been a lot of entrants, but that's just my guess and speculation.
Evo Japan was relatively recent. I think Final Showdown came out way before Evo Japan was a reality.
Yeah.
And so as for main game event, it would not have been. I think Ultimate Showdown Esports coming out, and there was more of a reason that it could be a main game.
But no, I think was it a side game or was it a main game at Evo Japan 2019? It had a real tournament at Evo Japan, because
it was a side tournament you organized. Yeah,
it was a side tournament. Okay.
Yeah, I'm quite sure side tournament. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one where the Strike First Gentleman Governor was there.
Gentleman Thief was there, Renzo was there, Adam Yuki was there, Bannock was there, so, yeah.
Yes, it was a main game last year at Rockford, that's correct.
Yeah, so remember that when this game was announced as a main game at Evo Japan, it was a surprise. Now, I had already planned to go to Japan as early as August 2022. For March 2023. I planned to go to Japan. And because of Virtua Fighter, because I was like, but my belief was that even if it was a side game, I want to be there. Right? I'm going to be there because I'm going to meet a lot of Japanese, we're going to play VF, and we're going to have fun, we're going to hang out. Right? So whether it's a side tournament or a main game, I was going to be there. That was a decision I made early. But November is when they announced that Virtua Fighter Esports would be a main game at Evo Japan, and honestly, that was a big surprise to a lot of people, including the fans. So, so we should start with not assuming that it should always be a main game, but that they actually gave us this honor of making it a main game at Evo Japan, so because that was a surprise, honestly, and I'm so happy they did it, and I'm so happy it got the registration numbers, and look, whatever the end result of who played, the registration numbers was a factor in some tournaments, like putting VF on their spot. Last year, Fight Kingdom put VF up because they saw those numbers at Evo Japan.
Round one. Ready, go!
Yeah, if you're planning to just want to go to Japan, and it's only your interest is only in Virtua Fighter, a nice alternative would be B-Tribe. And I think more Japanese players actually participate in B-Tribe than the Evo Japan VF event.
It is the more hype event. It's the event that the Japanese love more, actually. So Evo Japan, like it. I feel like when I was in Japan, like you have to kind of stress how Evo is like the big deal, but to them they're like, yeah, it is, but but Beat Tribe Cup is like the real big deal, for a lot of them.
A lot of the players, like, even the strong players, like Basakong, a very strong LoL player, commentates on Sega. He comments he said, I really don't care too much about us single player individual tournaments.
Yeah.
But it's free registration, or just to show support, he registered for Evo Japan.
Right.
But at least it seems like I'm not sure how this is with other fighting games in Japan, but there's the community aspect of the team seems to get a lot of people to participate.
It does, yeah.
It's also a way, a reunion of sorts too. Like people who don't see each other for a long time, they use the B-Tribe as a way to get together and play.
Yeah, well, and the energy is different too. Like at Evo Japan, the Japanese players, yes, they're really happy, but it's like they're kind of golf clapping, But you watch like B-Tribe Cup and they're screaming and going nuts because it's so team focused, because of the team focus, because this sense of community, because you get to watch these underdog matches, and you get to see strong players carry the underdogs too. So there's just they love the team battle so much,
There's also a difference in community also. We were seeing the Tekken having their I think there's the Masters Cup.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call theirs. And both B-Tribe and the Master Cup has like a red carpet ceremony for the top 16 teams or something. Like for the Tekken group, it's much more nice and like very cordial. Like they just walk through. But the VF committee, they start
they go nuts.
Smacking them and like tugging on them. It's two very different.
Well, part of that's also some of the personalities that you have, like Chimpanzee is going to make sure that happens, as well as who is it? Who's the Shun player? Who's our favorite Shun player again? The crazy Shun player.
I'm sorry?
I'm trying to remember, there are certain players that really bring it out of everybody else, right? Chimpanzee can bring out the wild side out of Homestay Akira, so you're just, But, yeah, and to clarify, Reaper, actually, what it was B-Tribe Cup was about a month after Evo Japan, but it was announced, the week of Evo Japan. It was so, wait, what?
It was a rare opportunity to have it at that, wherever that
venue
was, and so they took that opportunity.
Yeah, and DreamHack came in and sponsored Confederation Cup.
Yeah, DreamHack, thank you. Yeah, it was with this Cooperation Cup.
Yeah, and so Cooperation Cup and Beat Tribe had this opportunity, and the thing is, a lot of people were worried that Beat Tribe's dead, right? Because I mean, I wouldn't worry because VFR is very active still, but there's hope, right? But I heard Super Battle Opera ended up died years ago, right? So, all right, good luck to Kai. Let's watch this focus match. Yeah, B-Tribe Cup was so amazing. B-Tribe Cup was just real amazing. Yeah, rest in peace, Togeki. Hopefully it can come back, but it's a very expensive thing to do. Big events like these are so expensive, people have no idea. And that's even with most of the workforce being volunteer, unpaid work. Though they may pay for lodging, but not often. Just like when you see like vendors, they have volunteers, a lot of that stuff is unpaid work volunteers.
Messed up. I want to say the first Evo Japan was 2016, but I could be wrong.
Maybe sometime around then, right? I mean, there is a 2018 and 19 that I know of, but so probably 16. I wasn't paying attention during that time, so I have no memories. Jimmy, is Akira scary? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Say goodbye to my 100% here. You know? It's gonna be a lot of fun though. Let's have a fun battle. Very good game. Akai, you played that very well. Jimmy is so scary.
I have to admit, I was owned in that match, so eventually I'll try better against you. Don't need to sugarcoat it. I lost horribly in the match.
No, there was some stuff that I liked, but I'm guessing that if you're working on certain techniques, it takes a lot of like matches to do, and it's tough. Yeah, that was it. And one day I am going to turn guard break into a throw. I'm going to throw them when I get hit by that thing. That'll be a day where I do that.
Sometimes I just feel like when I play this Akira, I should just like neck guard high.
Yeah.
But my thumb really likes to hit that guard button.
This is just so scary. Yeah. This is like the thing about Akira. Like make a wrong guess, you're dead.
Okay. And for those who don't know, the guard break, if it's normal hits you or counter hits you, I think
delay.
Akira's at disadvantage.
Delay into delay in the quarter circle was really good. Yep. That was a lot of fun. That was a beatdown, but reminds me of like what I need to do. But yeah, that was fun. Good game, Jimmy. Very good game. I like his Akira so much. Well, against Akira, you also have to understand that stepping, it's important, but it's... So Reaper said that I have to step more against Akira, and especially against this aggressive play. That is true, but you also have to understand that Jimmy and a lot of Akira players mix the tempo up a lot. And that tempo mix is their version of a circular attack, right? Doing like... Choosing to do 666p because it's going to inherently have a built-in... in the neutral, it's going to have a built-in dash, which causes a delay. So this means like backdash evade is good, but the problem with backdash evade though, there's a couple problems with it. But the biggest problem for backdash evade is that you are going to sacrifice a lot of the advantage you might get from the evade, because you're probably going to evade late into... If you're evading something that was done right away, the resulting situation could be closer to neutral than you'd like, you know. And so, but then if you do straight up evade, Akira will use delay attack to just hit you pretty hard. But again, he has to... It applies both for Akira and his opponent, that like Akira wants to guess very correctly, right? Akira is a very high precision character, and so that precision goes against him too, because it means like he has to live or die on that precision. But yeah, but definitely make use of steps. I didn't. I did get some steps, but then I ended up like inputting wrong. You know, I jammed myself. Definitely try to score on any counter hit pokes you get, but if you don't have it, then don't push it. So what do I mean by if you don't have it, don't push it? If you know you're too late, then try to pick a better option for being late instead of trying to do the option you should have done when you were on time. This is a hard part about VF to get good at, right? A lot of us will be like, oh, I should have done this, and then we try to do it again and we lose. Try to be in the moment as best as you can, and that can be very hard to do. It's easier said than done. Alright, so here's Jimmy's pie. And then also, when Akira calls out your backdash evade, that's very scary too. He might do like forward dash into 666p, or he might do crouch dash into 3-3 and then another 3p. It's very scary if you're not properly canceling that evade too into a defense.
Jimmy does like to use that back turn attack and then walk back.
It's really good.
It's kind of
go ahead.
Much more faster than I expect to avoid some to make your opponent with some attacks.
Yeah, well, that's really scary because Pi has a launcher from back turn, so. It was a really good battle, though. Reapers did a fantastic job. Really good. 3P plus K is so good.
Round 5. Ready, go!
There's a lot of things that 3P plus K deals with that it makes it a very scary move for Pi.
Well, it's basically the anti-Sabaki move for the most part.
Well, it's anti-Sabaki, but it's also like, how do I put it? When you're playing on the edge of frames, right? It's gonna do higher damage than the attack that it's gonna beat, than a lot of attacks that would trade. So being a 12 frame higher damage than the jab, you know, is very that too makes it a factor. So the frame calculation is very interesting with it. So. Alright, very good game, you two.
Good job, The Walk, for taking down Jimmy down. Glad to see Magus Wings come back for the second weekend.
Yep, welcome back, and I'm glad.
Round 1.
Sorry, what were you going to say about Magus Reigns?
Oh, no. It's good to see new people tried out the leagues and then they actually come back again.
Yeah, and they play very good. They honestly, Magus Reigns is very, very solid.
Knockout. Round 2. Ready, go! Knockout. Round 3. Ready, go!
So Fight Kingdom is next week or 2 weeks from now?
Next week.
Next weekend. Okay.
Yeah, Fight Kingdom is next week. We're really excited for it. Up in Everett, Washington, just north of Seattle. And it's a wonderful time, a good venue, a lot of retro games. Capcom vs. SNK 2 and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 are going to be really hyped there. And Virtua Fighter is going to have a lot of fun there. So we always do.
Heavyweights are nothing to me.
Yeah, you're right. Stepping there definitely as a...
Hey, welcome Zay9 on Twitch chat. He's Blaze of Sorensen.
Yes, that's correct. Good to have you here, Zane. Always love it. Oh, it's us. Okay. Reaper has to go. Alright. Yeah, but it is true that you have to establish stepping as an option when you fight Akira. You got to make him think about it. So yeah, you're right, Reaper. Alright, Akai, here we go.
Alright, let's do this.
This might be my last game of the day. So,
Okay.
Round 1.
let's see here.
Ready, go!
Good. I like you used the 3K plus G this game and the last time we fought.
Back.
Round 2. Ready, go!
Good choice. Good choice with throw here. Hook and throw.
Ready, go! Knockout.
It's the problem with that. So that back turn causes a gap there.
Round 4. Ready, go!
More one.
Round 5. Ready,
game. GG's. It's a lot of fun.
Got one more match for me. Wow, that's nice.
So Reaper didn't pay attention. I see. I'm going to do this. I want to let these guys fight. This will probably be it for me after this game because I'm gonna go have lunch and check on family. But I really appreciate all this time. I do like what I'm seeing from Drakto, so welcome to the league. I hope to see more of you, Drak. You have a very nice pie. It is on the aggressive side, but I have seen you actively defend too, so I don't want to judge it.
Actually, in this round here, he has switched up a lot, so that's good.
Yeah,
Switching things up.
I've seen them switch throughout the whole day, right? At the start of the day, they were using 1KK very heavily in the first league battle, but they stopped in round 3 when I fought them, and then they started using other aspects of their play. So there are tendencies I see, and that's not a bad thing to have the tendencies. It's just how do they use them, and I've seen them used in interesting ways. This like. I sense a lot of skill actually in Drak. They might be, I don't know if they're newer to VF or if, but they have a familiarity with Pai's move list as well. So I think in the league we're gonna see them evolve pretty quickly as a player, as a VF player. And I'm really enjoying watching them play. It's very interesting for me to watch like what I've seen from their play today. And the type of adjustments they make. It reminds me of when I fight against players that are really strong in other games coming into VF and trying to figure out VF. You know, and maybe also knowing that VF has an aggressive reputation, so they'll play more aggressively at first, you know. And then as they figure out that balance between offense and defense. That's the feeling I get. They haven't said a word. Right? That's just the feeling I get from fighting them today. And so the thing I look for in the future will be, okay, are they doing throw scrape when they guard, right? That'll be a factor. Because I don't know if I've seen the signs of that yet. But I've seen a lot of other signs of different elements of what they like to do and what they seem to be good at.
Round 5. Ready, go!
Just like watching their use of 2G right now, watching them have a sense that there is something worth doing in doing 2G.
Yeah, the only other suggestion is if he is listening is I guess certain players, once they have experience, not to complete the attack strings of Pi too much, as that could as it's highly punishable for a lot of those attack strings if you successfully block all of it. If they successfully block all of it,
Yeah, their
Makes it in,
PPP
like,
for
allows
they got
plays, but,
punished.
yeah.
No, but yeah, and that's also why I feel like there's signs that they might be a player that's strong in another game learning VF. Is like they're applying the strings, but the way that I see them applying, I'm like they're adjusting as they play. They're learning stuff. But yes, they are starting off using more of the strings.
Knockout.
I think they're also watching the way Jimmy's playing and the way you're playing too, so it's good stuff.
Ready, go!
Now, a move that I do think I wish I would see more in North America Pi is this 6-6 P plus K, but Tenguman uses it too, so Jimmy actually canceled it, which was really cool. He was trying to bait something from Zaytigi or verify something. Standing kick is a good punisher.
That's
I liked how the Abari killed the Abari after the
that.
after the 4-6 K plus G.
Good job. That was a good round.
That was a really exciting round.
Round 4. Ready, go!
Jimmy just has that movement that makes his pipe so smooth.
Yeah.
Knockout.
Not a bad choice there. Just, Jimmy do it. Use that attack a little slower.
Yeah.
They could use that move successfully against me twice.
All right, we'll watch this and then I'll call it. So, but
Okay.
that's it. Everyone, don't forget tonight it's the Virtua Fighter International Party from Japan, live from Japan. We've got players from America, Europe, Australia, and Korea.
Korea.
And we might actually have a Chinese player there. One of the Chinese players that went to Evo Japan is Fire Liu, Liu.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you pronounce Liu? How do you pronounce that properly?
Which spell again?
Liu.
Depends on which dialect you're talking about, but I would pronounce it once again in Mandarin. It's like Liu.
Liu. Okay. So Fire Liu. He's from Beijing, so it'd be Mandarin. So yeah. He's a retired, supposedly retired, Beijing player, and he has a good time. He has like a Virtua Fighter DVD that he's showing off at over there. Like in a lot of the photos, he'll put that photo up. I saw a photo of him with Chibita. So this was I'll post it somewhere, but they're photos that I got from Chinese players, so I didn't want to just share it right away. You know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Round 3. Ready, go!
But told him I did send the message about the VF party, so I hope he can make it there. Oh, that's so cool. And Jimmy's pie it's become very natural. I like watching it. He feels out Pie's moves really well.
Round 4. Ready, go!
And of course, one of Pie's scary moves at the high level is 3P. That low poke to the feet, where she basically like finger pokes their ankle. It's a very annoying move. It's a low attack that goes into a very, very complicated mix-up situation if you're good at doing the options from it. And so it's not to be underestimated. And if you fight high-level players at a high level, you will have to learn how to deal with this move. They will do this move like all day. That low poke to the feet, you know. Yeah, it's such a good move. It's so good. Like it's harder to utilize than it sounds. But if you play her, you'll know, because you gotta get used to inputting all the options from it. But if you master all the options from it, it's such a powerful move.
Go!
So Sorensen Soren said waiting will always win in this genre unless mix-up is worth something. Mix-up is really important, but also yes, in every game, effective defensive play will always be very strong. It eventually settles into that, but this game does allow you to really fight it. It's just it becomes harder and harder. Jimmy is one of the strongest players in North America, so I want to make that clear. But he does like to play in a way where he's trying to encourage his opponents to learn, and he does do different approaches, and he works on his own game. He works on different skills when he plays. But if you want to know his true skill level, he's ridiculously strong. He plays a lot like a really strong Asian player, is what I would actually say it as, because the way he plays, it's kind of like Rodnuts. Rodnuts plays very scary at a high level and plays like a very, very incredibly strong Asian player. To make a distinction of American players. So but so they're playing with high knowledge and wanting to always apply their skill a lot. But yes, cutting down risk will always be effective in any type of game, but different games will allow you to assault them for that, right? Tekken has become more forceful in it because Tekken has heat engage causes it to automatically go into that situation in a very clear way. VF does have it, but it requires you to kind of know that you have it, right? It's not gonna just flat out tell you, but when you block something big enough, right? But Jimmy is playing with poking and stuff, so that's where at the higher level counter hitting with your pokes will give you that mix up, but it's hard because you have to see it, and it takes a lot of playing to start to see it. Yeah. I think her back turn stance is very good. I think I don't always see it, but the thing is, Pai's back turn is really actually strong in this game. It's a situation it's not a bad situation. It's a stance, right? So when the opponent pushes you into back turn, there's actually only one question in this game: is there a guaranteed back throw? Because if there's no guaranteed back throw, they're still in the game. It's different from the side turn, where the side turn you can oppress somebody that's in side turn, but when you get someone into back turn, they have a lot of moves and options that are quite good. It's just that they have to gamble more because their defensive ability is lower. So, but she
Also,
can go ahead.
Also, I noticed that a lot of the moves that recovers back turn, like for example Pai's back punch, the total frame for that is actually quite fast. It's the same as a low punch.
It is. It's by design. It's by design because
Yes.
the back turn is supposed to be a stance, basically, right? It's a situation that you're supposed to be able to win if you can guess well. It's just that you're forced to guess because your defensive capability is a lot less. It's more about, can you walk away? Can you do a move like Pai can do a hop kick away, right? But she has a launcher from back turn, and she has good pokes. And Jimmy showed earlier, he staggered somebody with her back turn punch, right? So you can cause a wall stagger, you can set it up, and so back turn games are not to be underestimated. They're quite strong, and in this game, it's not as oppressive. In the VF4 series, in Virtua Fighter 5 Vanilla and VF5R, you can oppress somebody that's in back turn. If you can oppress somebody if they wake up side turn, you can make them get up backwards, and that can be quite oppressive. But this game, you really just have maybe a move that crumples somebody that's back turn, and Leon doesn't actually. But you have you want to look for guaranteed back throw, and if you don't have guaranteed back throw, understand you're in a mix-up game. But you have advantage if you're fighting against the person that's back turn, but it's a mix-up game. They have options too, and so never underestimate back turn in this game. Side turn is more oppressive than back turn in this game. Well, yeah, so Pai is a very strong turtle type of character. So Pi is a character that is very strong at playing low risk, and but it actually requires quite a bit of execution on her part and knowledge. It's not an easy way to play. And Shiwapon, one of the very best players in the world, and some might think is the best player in the world at this point. Shiwapon plays Pi for a reason as their main.
Ready, go!
And Shiwapon's Pi is pretty amazing. Yeah. In the previous VF games, I would say back turn has uses. It's good, but I think this game back turn is a little stronger, or back turn is less weak in this game than in the previous games.
Knockout!
I think in the previous games back turn, there's a lot of downsides to it. Like there's like fish float, right? When they look like a salmon, like flipping in the air. Right, when you do a bound on somebody that's back turn, it's pretty bad, you know. And then it's similar to like when you in those games, VF4 all the way to VF5R before Final Showdown. If you're face down and head towards, if you're falling that way and you tech roll to the side, you're gonna get up backwards. So if they do like a side kick, you're gonna get hit on the back, and it's really bad. Similarly, if you're face down but head is away, then technically, then you could logically think, oh, if I do a quick rise, I'm going to get up backwards. I'm going to do a push-up away backwards. So same thing, your opponent can side kick you and you're screwed. So back turn is a situation that you don't always want to be in. It's very risky to be in the previous VF games. This game, you can fight back as long as they can't do a guaranteed back throw,
Ready, go!
because there's no escape for back throw, and so back throw is kind of the biggest risk. And I get to realize it because as Leon, I can't really oppress people that are back turn that much as Leon. I can oppress people that are side turn. Akira, though, can actually be very painful against people that are back turned. It's very scary. So you want to pick your options well and win the guesses if you're playing the back turn game against Akira. Or just play moral, right? Play according to frames. One of the safest ways to play, generally the safest way to play VF.
Knockout! Round 3. Ready, go!
Very fun match to watch these two.
Knockout!
Alright. Jimmy's command of Pi just like gets stronger and stronger by the day. Alright, Akai, you have a good one. I'm gonna jump out now, but I had such a wonderful
Alright,
time.
you have a good day. See you next time. Enjoy your meal.
Thank you. I will. See you next time.
Alright, I think I'll try to get at least one more game in.
So if does anyone have any questions before I leave, feel free to ask them. I'm happy to answer some questions right now. Having a lot of fun. Again, Nala Strave, I wish you the best on your exams. Hope you'll perform well and
Round 1.
enjoy after that. It is, yeah, it definitely can feel like playing against KOF players from Mexico. Jimmy is actually from Mexico too, so Yeah. But Zane, Blades, Sorensen, I'm really glad that you joined in for the battles. I love having you in the chat, and I love having you in the battles. And so keep it up. You're fighting with a lot of great players, and you're doing great. And
Round 2.
it's VF is fun. Let's keep VF fun. I think I would imagine the connection between you and Jimmy would be good, actually. I think Texas to Mexico has got to be pretty decent compared to other places versus Mexico. But I love fighting Jimmy. I learn so much whenever I fight him. Now, how to apply it's a lot harder. I wish I could apply more, but I still learn a lot. I think so. I think Final Showdown streamlined a lot of things, and they streamlined it so that there's just counter hit, there's recovery hit. Recovery hit gives you a 25% damage bonus, and sometimes certain strings become guaranteed with recovery hit. Counter hit, yeah, 50% bonus. Side hit has a bonus. Side hits bonuses are very much the same as counter hit and recovery hit. Same bonuses, but sometimes some properties become more guaranteed, so similar. But side hit has frame bonus, and so yeah, the frame bonuses is a big deal. If the base damage of an attack is 14 or less, then it will get a side bonus, against a side turn opponent plus 2 frames. If it's 15 to 24 damage, plus 3 frames. And if it's 25 or more damage, plus 6 frames, which is huge. That's why Jeffrey can do evade into knee and be -9, right? Because normally it's a -15 attack, which is nuts already, right? Because 15 frame is not much damage punish on guard. The proper way to punish Jeffrey's knee is not to block and punish it, it's to evade and punish it. But he can do evade into knee and he'll be -9. But again, this game's design, one of the big differences is that in the 4 series, there's a lot of like almost guaranteed stuff when you win a situation. This game gives you a lot of guessing. This game is all about the guessing. So all about decision making with a lot of different types of guessing. But the guesses are good. It's really well done. And so Jeffrey being -9, it just means that the opponent has strong incentive to do an attack that would be up to 19 frames, right? 12 plus 9, 21 frames, right? Up to 21 frames they can do an attack. But, the bigger the attack though, if Jeffrey chose to evade, then they might actually be able to punish it with a PK or something, or even a 4KP. So it's like, so you got to make this conscious choice about throw or attack, And this game makes you guess so many times. It makes you try to understand the situation so many times. And undoubtedly, when I talk to players that did grow up on VF during the Final Tuned or Evolution years, and that was their main game, it is still a lot of times their favorite game in the series. But most of them will also tell me that a lot of them will tell me they think Final Showdown is an amazing game, and they especially love the side turn system of this game because of the way the situations go with side turn, and how it rewards you for knowledge and understanding and challenges you on understanding and situation confirming. It's different, but it is something that makes this game very special. And so even those that are amazing at Final Tune Evolution, those two might still be their favorite in the whole series, but 5 Final Showdown has definitely won their respect. And for me, it is my favorite. Final Showdown is my favorite in the series. So this game is my favorite. I think it nailed so many things right. But I also think 4 Final Tune, 4 Evolution are also super amazing, and you know, rightfully, most people would say that that's their favorite if they were able to play that at a high level, and I think so great, you know. Yeah, so Seta expressed something that a lot of players will express though, like Japanese too. A lot of Japanese, they might have a strong nostalgia for the 4 Final Tuned or 4 Evolution days, but they still love Final Showdown about how good it is, and they express it the same way Seta does. You know, they're like, this game is really, really good, and some of them can also see where they because they can do multiple throwscapes, some of them wish for it to be back, but they also know that that's like probably not going to happen because they know that it is so it ends up prohibiting a lot of beginners. It really sends them away. It makes them kind of give up and not believe that they can do it, you know. Like at least in Tekken, people can accidentally break throw, and that's what they take solace in knowing is that technically their attack might have been an option select to defend against throw. Not really, but that's kind of how they feel. But you know, throw escaping in Tekken really is a matter of training and discipline, because you actually have to tell yourself what was that throw. The game gives me enough time to think about what that throw was, and then when I remember what correctly, I can press the throw tech and escape the throw. So it's an awesome skill. This game, I feel like the skill that's similar to that stagger break, but I do think stagger break's hard. But stagger break is like that. It's stagger break in this game is understand the situation, understand when it's likely to happen. You did a backdash, then you should always consider that getting staggered is a very real possibility. Should you break the stagger even if they always do the combo? Yes. Why? Sometimes they do the combo too slow. And so you'd rather be able to block it when it's possible to block. Otherwise, a lot of times there's mix-up. But also, if you don't do it, you open yourself up to too many options. So there's still a strong reason to do it, even when it's guaranteed. But it is like, understand the situation, know when it's going to happen, have the technique, it's a technique, and then have the timing, because timing matters for stagger break. You're not supposed to actually stagger break right away. You're supposed to do it the moment that the joystick turns red, or get a feel for when that's going to happen. So then that trains you when to do it. I do like the changes they made in Tekken 8's throw system. I like that throwing is much more useful and has call-out properties, right? Kind of like similar to Street Fighter 6, except that Street Fighter 6 is weird because you need to know to use throw, but you also just feel like so meh when you do it, you know? So you're like, man, I gotta do this, but I wish the reward was a little better. Tekken, traditionally the reward for throw and throw escape, just the reason for doing it, I think, is to get to your favorite side. You want to be on player 1 or player 2 side, you know? And then after that, a little bit ring positioning, kinda, you know? But now it has more uses. It's like, oh, you're countering these things now. Like you're making it so they can't do that tech, right? Because you're trying to open up your attack options in Tekken again by getting them to stop doing, like, you know, sidestep at the correct time. You know, so and you try to even cut off armor attacks, right? So there's a real uses for throw more now that's beyond Tekken 7's I just want to get to player 1 side. You know, so I still think it's funny that that's like the main reason to do throw in Tekken 7, right? Is to get to your better side. You know, so, like it's not just that it's like a reason, it's like the reason to do it. You know, so. But there are other reasons to do throw in that game too. But Tekken 8 really gave you a lot more reasons to escape to do throw in Tekken 8. But that's also because, Tekken 7 and a lot of Tekken games have movement to smooth over the mix-up, because the mid-low mix-up can be very frustrating if that's the only real mix-up. So spacing and technique are the things you do to smooth out that, right? Virtua Fighter does have technique, and it has the throw and mid being the mix-up, the first mix-up, because there's many more, but the main mix-up, that is the paper rock scissors creating a smoothing factor, right? And guard throw escape and fuzzy guard are like really big part of the smoothing process to make the mix-ups not feel so insanely oppressive. But if you know where to apply them, it's pretty strong, very strong, which is why we recommend learning Nitaku, because you gotta know when in poker you're allowed to go all in, or where you can terrify a strong player by going all in. But there's more to it, and there's ways to escape it. And if your mix-up is the same mix-up, so that is something that is different, I think. Kind of. Tekken, eventually the sidestepping changes the mix-up. In this game, the variety of options that everything has an answer changes the mix-up. You're like, okay, knee and throw, good mix-up, until there's this kick sabaki. Now that knee sabaki is going to destroy both, so now choose something else. That's why two-handed attacks are good, right? Two-handed attacks are good because they can't be sabaki'd, but they're like usually evade punishable. So yeah, so there's always these like back doors, and that's what's awesome about VF.
Round one. Ready, go!
Yes. So in Final Showdown, that's also why the boxing is always so important in VF, but it's super essential in this game because high punch, low punch, and elbow. Why are they so good? Why do we teach these first? Well, one, everybody has them, but why are they so important? Two, they have probably the least risk, but they have good reward. But the reward is potential. It's not a combo. The reward is that when you counter hit with any of those three, you get your opponent's in Nitaku. High jab is +8 on counter hit. Elbow usually is +6 on crouch hit or counter hit, and low punch is +7, right? So now you have access to really powerful mix-ups if you want to do the powerful mix-ups. You can also do safe mix-ups if you're not sure, and if you're afraid of the consequences, or if it's gonna or if like the bad guess means you're gonna lose the round, so then you change. But all of them have high potential because they set up that situation, training you what to do with those situations. And then they have minimal risk because if the opponent blocks a high punch, you're +2, so you get to do usually high jab into elbow, but you at least get high jab into low punch, and then they would want to crush the low punch or just block it. On normal hit they give you a good, decent advantage, but they give you a lot on counter hit. Elbow is similar. Elbow, normal hit sucks for elbow, but it's fine because you can still low punch and you can crouch dash. So you start learning that crouch dashing, every character in VF gets to wave dash. Crouch dash is a wave dash, right? I mean, it's used very similarly. And so crouch dash allows you to duck under highs. VF's form of whiff punishing is a little harder than Tekken's form of whiff punishing because Tekken really encourages you to go, you know what, you should duck that high and you should do a wall standing attack, and just by doing that you've got a powerful whiff punish from ducking and punishing. VF, you kind of need to know and play a bit and experiment and get used to it, and it's a little harder to whiff punish in this game, but it's there. And so crouch dashing is still very effective because it's really safe. You're only vulnerable for 5 frames, and because no attack is 5 frames, then that means that there's a good chance you're going to be able to block whatever just by doing it and then reacting, right? Unless they perfectly time in advance before you crouch dash. They perfectly time like an elbow. Some players can do kind of that, right? That's a very scary skill. So then you just don't. You just switch it up to forward dash, or you just guard earlier. But crouch dash in the guard's really good, and crouch dash allows you to like in that time kind of watch what your opponent's doing and choose some options, similar to doing that in Tekken. So, but yeah, but the counter hit's about the same. Also, wall hits, right? So, big thing that determines on wall hits, on what causes stagger, is damage. And so here's the crazy thing. When you do almost anything that you can hit with, if you hit your opponent's side turn, pretty much everything is going to do a wall stagger. Yes, 100%. Yes. So yeah, in this game, if you're Jackie, right, and you block like low punch, and they mash high punch, right, but you do like uppercut. Your upper, or if they like mash low punch into high punch, yeah, you block and you like crouch block and then you do uppercut, like your uppercut's gonna launch the same. Yeah. So yeah, high jab getting counter hit, it's gonna eat it. Yeah. This game, counter hits kill. Counter hits same. Yeah, they will do the same counter hits. It's cut and dry. It's like that was a counter hit. This is what you get. Yeah. So yeah, in this game, this is also why, like, actually, when I fight against Vanessa players that like to do low punch and the uppercut, like, they shouldn't do that. Low punch on block is -5. So now, and like, let's say the uppercut's 10 frames, right? And it's a high, but like, it's a 10 frame move. So they're counting on at being -5, right? Then I can still use a 15 frame attack and hit them if I do it right away. If I do it right away, I can hit them with a 15 frame attack, and this uppercut is like they're standing. Like when they do that move, they're in a standing state the whole time they do that move. So they instantly put themselves into a standing state. So a high, mid, or low that does more damage, because in this game, the higher damage wins on a trade. And a lot of attacks are going to be higher damage than that short range uppercut. So I do like, so Leon can actually block the low punch, do the eye poke. I poke Vanessa, who's trying to do this uppercut, and the eye poke guarantees a 4-4K combo if I counter hit with it. So I've done that to some players where I'm like, okay, I poke 4-4K in a combo, and it's really like for Vanessa, it's a lot of damage they're gonna eat for doing that. Yeah. So what I will say is, for the Tekken player, the thing you'll like with the VF4 series is there is more spatial play. There is spatial play in this game, but it's not the same, right? This game has a spatial play, and it matters, but a lot of this game is played at the close and mid-close, so close range and close mid-range are like the main ranges that this game is played. A lot of decisions are made there, and that's because in this game, you have both. You have the most options on offense, and you have the most options on defense when you're up close. On top of that, it's the guard throw escape system. The lazy throw escape system is what allows the up close fighting to happen. If you stay up close in Virtua Fighter 4 series, your throw escape tech is only for a moment, right? And then you would have to do it again if they did a delayed throw. If you want to escape the throw. Of course, it's better to do a launcher if they're going to throw, right? But, so generally when you play VF4 game, it's, okay, we got into this clash, they blocked this attack, I'm going to input like 3 throw escapes, and then my option, which could be evade, it could be guard, or it could be backdash. But once this expires and once the situation's resolved, I'm going to get out of that range. Because the longer I stay up close in VF4, the more likely a throw is going to get me. The more likely that... And then if I try to do throw escapes beyond that, if I try to do throw escapes in the neutral, I do a throw whiff. So if that happens, now the launcher, I'm at higher risk of a launcher, or a whiff punish even. And so when you play VF4, you want to get into the engagement, get out, right? Get into the engagement, get out. And it's like really important. like understanding the role of this and understanding how, and then yeah, when you have the reads, then you start going into your opponent, and that's where a lot of my skill comes from, is playing a character, a low damage character like Leon in these games, and having to just build reads for a round, which in the damage of VF4 games and in Virtua Fighter 5 Vanilla, the damage is a lot lower if you're not Jeffrey or Wolf and not Akira or Jackie, right? So if you're everybody else, the damage is lower. So because of that, we have to play with much more of a strategic mind. It's more strategic. It's a lot of build reads, build reads, build reads, poke, 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 build reads. Okay, now I know how this guy works. I'm gonna start going in and start trying to punish the things he likes to do, right? And that's when I can be rushed down as Leon in those games. But I gotta really have some decent reads or a decent sense of what I know is gonna work. This game, I can stay up close and fight all day, and it's really interesting. There's a lot of decisions, so that's what I love about this game, is that, and I still have a good backdash game. They made backdash better in this game. Backdash is better. It's just more risky. So the punishment for backdash, you're gonna die. You lose like half your life. Taka, you will lose 55% of your life if he knows you're gonna backdash and he punishes it. And his move, like, there's just no dispute. That kick that you just saw is the punish. It's just so huge range, and it's just standing kick. Yeah, but Taka's kick will, like, unless you really evade cancel, really destroy you for backdashing. But the backdash in this game is really good because, like, punch, elbow, throw being so fundamental, backdash is really good for beating them, right? And backdash is really good at beating people that overextend or do like an elbow predictably, you know. And it is good at beating like Vanessa players that get used to using the moves that are winning on defensive situations, and then, well, just using backdash by itself will really wreck a lot of those moves. Yeah, so when you play the 4 series and you play 5 and 5R, get in, get out. Like, get in, know the situation, pick the option, and if it's still going on, get out. Don't stay up close too long in those games, because if you stay up close too long, throw becomes better. And once throw becomes better, it's just a volatile situation, and defense is harder, right? Defense in the 4 series, defense is amazing, but only for a split moment. And then the longer the two are fighting or standing there, the worse the defense gets. And that's a cool thing. That's a cool feature of those games. It's cool. It's designed. People love that. That's why Tekken players love that, right? It makes more sense to them too. But in this game, being up close, the risk is managed. Moving around is really powerful in this game. Look at them. They keep moving. They keep spacing out, right? We do too. Backdash is very good in this game. It's just that backdash is this decision, and it's got risks associated with it, but it's also really good option too. But if they guess when you backdash and they hit you out of it, you're losing half your life. So that's a huge risk. But doesn't mean you don't do it, you know. But this game really succeeded in like encouraging up close and frequent decision making. So I love it. Now, if you ask me what I want for VF6, well, I'd like to go back and forth on this. I think if for a VF6, I would like a strategic flow. I would like the damage to be more class based. I honestly would like that. Though Eileen, of course, would have good damage because she should be like a crush monster, but. You know, but, well, not the same. She should be able to use her string pressure game, her string cancel game more, and so that would actually be lower damage play. But that feature's strong, but I still want to be able to fight up close a lot. So I just think the damage being more class-based in 6 would be cool. And then if they did a VF7, I would love it to come back to being everyone does high damage. You know, just that kind of changing up with, if it's well considered, is pretty cool. because there is something to be said. And this game, I love that everyone does high damage, and I love that everyone has lots of options up close.
Round one. Ready, go!
Yeah, I think so too. I agree with that statement. Quincy Pone says it feels really fast in a different way than 5 vanilla. Or is he talking about 4? But if I were able to play 5 more, FS more. Okay, yeah, they're fast in different ways. Yeah, the VF4 series is a lot of vertical movement, a lot of horizontal movement. And it's really fast in that, and a lot of determining, and the elbow staggering is a really big deal. It like you feel it because the momentum changes like that. This game, it to me is more like a boxing match, but I love it. I love this game's pace so much. It's still so rapid, but it is harder to see it from the outside. It's easier to see it if you know what the players are doing, but that's very inside baseball. So Reaper says it's like a consistent 3 combos you might need rather than potentially 6 or 7 per launch. Yeah. So like, so in VF6, yeah, I mean, I don't want Leon to be as weak as he is in VF5 vanilla, but I never complained about that though, because again, you build reads, and he's always had tools to deal with to use those reads. But I do like this game being like, yeah, these quick combos. Oh, I agree. Quick combos are cool. I think I think some people like the satisfaction of some long combos, and I think this game treads a balance really well, right? Brad is like the longest combos, maybe Leifei, until you get to the wall, right? The wall is a little different, so, but I like the wall in this game because I do like that it's a virtual ring out. It's a skill-based ring out, you know. But there's still a way to fight after it, and I think it's exciting. For me, it's really exciting. Fighting at the wall, yeah, it's frustrating, but excitement comes from the frustration. Yeah, to me, VF definitely should always have ring out or wall threats. It should. It's a huge part of how this game is played. There's so many decisions that can be made with consideration to the position. It allows a lot of moves to have different utility. This game, there's not really many bad moves in the game, and I like that. When I play VF, I like that right away I can use different moves. Now, like Tekken, it is true that when you fight higher level people, they will show you more of the bad sides to your moves. It doesn't mean you never use them. It just means that you have to be very careful about where you place them against really good players. But it doesn't cut everything off. But it does encourage you to use the boxing more, because until you have a read. But once you start having reads, you start to see it. You see players like, oh, I know what I can do against this guy. And they start choosing weapons that have more risk again. And they open them up. Or they use pressure. They just apply a lot of quick pressure. Now the guy's a little more defensive. So now the slower moves can be used to apply pressure and win. So that's what I love about this game. But it would be very ignorant to say Tekken 8 doesn't have that. Tekken 8, what it does is Tekken 8 and Tekken games in general show you how punishable or bad a move can be pretty quick. But when your opponent earns your respect, when your opponent shows they know how to do all the defensive things, like they know how to deal with that move, then you start to play around that. And when you start to play around it, suddenly the move list opens for them too. So Tekken has that, right? It's just that Tekken starts off with beginners and intermediates knowing right away what's really risky. Street Fighter same, right? Knowing right away this is bad. Doing that's bad. And then it opens up when you can become a threat to the opponent on the other way, right? VF is confusing for a lot of beginners because a lot of options are good right away in VF. A lot of options are good against beginners. And so when somebody says, "What should I do?" It's hard to tell them, and then it's hard for them to see why this option is better than those other options, right? If you're playing against beginners and you just do launchers all day, you might feel pretty secure in doing that. And so in VF, it can actually be a challenge for learning, is how as a beginner, it's hard to see what's good and what's bad in this game. It's really hard to see it. In Tekken, it's like so plain as day obvious that's like, okay, that will just be bad if they just keep guard punishing, and then. But then as a high level player, you have to learn when to open it up again. When your opponent is now letting you do those things, and more. Alright, thank you guys very much for hearing me out for my rambling, especially from someone who doesn't know Tekken that well. I talk too much about Tekken for a guy who doesn't understand it fully. But those are just impressions I get and what I think is exciting about all the fighting games. But I appreciate it because I know you know Tekken, and I think we make good connections talking about both games. My pleasure. Ask anytime, as always. Happy to take the questions. Makes the streaming so much more fun too, and it's good company. Thank you for your wonderful company. Always. Let's see if I can comment much here. And I love that setup with Aoi. Yep. And that's the combo. I love the hop kick. So somebody did talk about the air game, and I was like, actually, this game does have an air game. You have safe jumps when they wake up, kind of. There's a risk. They can mess with the timing and do a rising attack and hit you. But hopping kick works in a lot of situations actually, and even in neutral, there's times it's a fun call out. But actually, Aoi's hopping descending punch is really good. The reason being is that if it hits you, you're minus 11 and you're crouched, and it means that she has a guaranteed low throw. And that, the combination of hitting you with that chop and the low throw being a forced three-way guess, and all three of them end up doing 80 damage. It's so scary. Yeah. Jumping is actually good in this game. You just have to know where to use it. And it makes the game, like, Jackie has a really annoying, like, hop into uppercut or hop into low kick, and either one will combo you, so you're forced. So if they do this when you're tech rolling, like, you're stuck in the guessing game. You're like, this is a Tekken style mid-low guessing game now, and it is very high damage if I guess wrong. Very good. Very good.
Round 2. Ready, go!
I like using that uppercut right there, actually. That was a nice. That's technically like a safe jump for the Oki, though it can lose to a delayed rising attack. But. Nice. You went with the guess at the end. Yeah.
Round 3. Ready, go!
That could have been a low throw, or ground throw, I mean. Good tech. That was a good call out. That 6K was fantastic. This is a very fun match between King of Carnage and Akai.
Round 4.
Akai has gotten so much stronger in the past. Actually, just in the past year, but he's been strong for a long time. But he's gotten so much stronger just in the past year. All right, good stuff. All right, everyone, have a good one. Take care. Let's do a raid. Alright, let's send our way to Blaring. He's always fun. Alright, here we go. We're gonna raid Blaring. Everyone say hi to him. Enjoy the Texas Showdown battles too. Cheers. Thank you all very much.